Hey everybody, I felt the need to start early because Freak Technic is here and resubbing for 6 months. Thank you for the three. I don't know if that means 3 total years or 3.5 years. I think it means 3.5, but that the next 5 will show up when you announce them later. But either way, anyway, thank you. You've been here for a long time, Freak Technic. I still can't believe that it was a random Twitter post. Well, it was your random Twitter post about bots and searching through the ones that are on Twitch that got us to this point. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for both things. The words and the message. Hey, I'm too. Hey, Paj. You're not late. It's been 1 minute and 15 seconds. But also, I wanted to do one task before launching. He just wants to do one last thing before launching the game. Then he'll update this command. Okay. Oh, late to getting first. I see. You don't care about the stream. Makes sense. Okay, so here's what I want to add. I only allow, because this is really just a demo right now. Whoops. Where did that come from? Wait, hold on a second. I don't even know where that came from. Huh. Okay, well, anyway, there are only 2 bosses in the game right now, which means you can only hit level 3. And I want people to be able to experiment with the other points at the end. So I think what I want to do is I want to add in a town perk that costs like 1,000 and gives you 5 skill points and just says like this is just for the demo so that you can still mess around with skill points. That's what I think I want to do. So let's just make sure that that will actually work. So right now we're level 1. Now we're level 2. And the maximum number of gold we can have is 1,000. So yeah, if I make it 1,001, it should be fine. And it'll just gate itself. And now we can earn more than 1,000. Yep, perfect. Okay, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Whew. All right, so let's go figure out how this will work, because this is just a temporary thing and we're gonna do very little testing. Let's call this like debug demo grant skill points. Hey, Nui. Yeah, day 10. Wow, yes, it's definitely come a long way since then. Hey, Mr. Evil Rex. Yeah, we're just gonna add in something pretty quickly here. Player demo skill points. Player demo skill points. And I want to write that this is just a temporary perk to allow you to experiment with the skill points you'll eventually have. And then maybe we should just bump the difficulty of the final area by some random amount. I don't really care. It's not supposed to be balanced. All right, this max level is going to be 1. Display name is going to be end of demo. Icon, I don't want to figure out an icon. Is there a way we can just... No, we'll have to throw in a new icon, I guess. Hey, Atomic Man. Well, this is the normal time for a stream. Well, more or less the normal time for a stream. But yeah, not the normal time for a launch. That happens once every like couple months. Focus on other stuff. Cool. What were you doing, Nui? And you don't have to answer. All right. So we go to gameicons.net and we just find a star or something maybe. Seriously, there's no just like basic star? Maybe this one, star metal. That looks a little too much like something not in a fantasy world. Star formation. What is this one called? Star formation. Okay, I don't already have this, right? Game assets FFI star. No, I don't have any of these. Okay, well, let's download this one. I think this is fine. We don't need this to be crazy. All right, downloads. Star formation. Put this in game assets icons ability icons. Paste. Cool. Then we load that in. Then we manifest the icon ID. Who made this one? Delapuid? Yeah, here we go. And it's called star formation. So we put it right here. Star formation, Delapuid. Playing with friends, playing games backlog, work, private project. All right, so usual stuff. That's good. But it's good to see you. And I'm not trying to guilt you into like, you should be here more. That is not at all the goal. Star formation. I think it was hyphenated. I don't actually recall. Yeah, it was. All right, so now we can use this icon. Let's put it here. End of demo reward. Or end of demo, yeah, reward. I don't know, something like that. Been occupied today, either way. Glad I caught up with the lunch at least. Yeah. There's just a couple of little things I want to do. All right, so this is number of skill points. And it's going to go from 0 right to 5, I think. No, maybe 4. Yeah, now I wonder, in that cloning ability, where did we use this? Get number of clones. Only in this one thing? This is stupid. This doesn't need to exist. Yeah. All right, so int skill points equals that. And we need to go through each adventurer and give them the skill points. Or maybe level them up. I'm not actually sure what we want to do here. Hey, Wendy. And hey, Suyash. How you both doing? Think we should get more free and paid courses on the Academy? Yeah, it's just not a priority right now. I'll probably make another paid course in the form of the digital organization course, but I don't know when that'll happen. And it's all dependent on Skeleseller. Hey, Dan. Launch day, indeed, of another alpha. But we're getting ready for the sort of bigger demos that are coming up for the Steam festivals. Okay, so somewhere here, we level up all of the adventurers here. And we call level up adventurer. And I think leveling them up gives them more skill points. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to go through every adventurer, which we can get through here. Get adventurers, yeah. So for each adventurer in town.get adventures. So now this is a node, so we can get the adventurer component, AC equals that, yep. And then AC.num skill points. What was this here? Num available skill points. Num available skill points plus equal skill points. Okay, there's one tiny problem here, which is that this can get applied many times, which means you'll just keep getting more and more and more skill points. So we need to somehow stop that from happening. Is there a way to figure out how many skill points you've spent? Number of available skill points. No. I mean, typically level is the way to figure that out. But I explicitly did not want to level up the adventurers. What we could do is we could just make it so that level ups don't mean that you get more stats. Because I kind of just wanted to grant the skill points. There'd be no way to track this. We could check what their total ability levels are. Yeah. Steam Fest will hopefully be great for some exposure, lurking while I work on my own stuff. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and I think it will help with some exposure. I've been reading a bunch of different things online, and I think it's probably good to have low expectations for the first festival, and for the second festival to just do a lot of marketing. But for the first festival, there's just not a lot of time. I think it's like 2 calendar weeks from now. Well, from Monday. But I'm going to be gone for like 5 work days in that time. So it's really 1 calendar week from Monday if you think about it that way. And that's just not a lot of time to do anything major. So we'll see. We'll see. There's no penalty for being in this first one though. The penalty for being in the second one is you can never be in one again. So yeah, if the second one, if Next Fest were in a week and a half or 2 weeks or something, maybe I would have backed out. And maybe not, who knows? Okay, so I can only do this by getting the total level. We don't have the abilities component, and even if we did, we wouldn't be able to know how many points you put in. But we could make a function for that. we have all of the abilities that are here. Set ability levels, get level of ability for entity, get ability, remove all abilities. Man. Trying to think of what's the easiest way to do this because this is really just a debug ability. Let's write it over here, I guess. Let's make a public int get total number of points spent. At the time of writing, this is really just a debug function for the demos. So it doesn't need to stick around if we're fully launching the game. Okay, now we need to just go through every ability for each base ability in abilities. Oh, wait, what am I doing? We can just return abilities.aggregate. And it should know how to do this. I'm hoping that's correct. Yeah. And then we use this combined with how many available skill points you have to figure out if you've got too many. And that's like, yeah, so bool has already granted skill points equals false. And then here what we can do is we can get the abilities component and say if get total number of points spent plus the available skill points. So if this is greater than 2, then we've already spent them. Yeah. So I guess what we need to do is just see. I'll do it this way. I want this to be very clear. Oh, you know what we could do here? We could just break out of this. All right, let's try that. That should be everything. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Ray Ray. Happy Friday. Hey, Kappa. All right. So this is what we ended up with. Let's go try this out. Oh, except for we can't yet because we need to add it to the tree. Let's put it there. Player demo. What do I call this? Debug demo grant skill points. Here it is. And it's going to cost 1,001. Now there's just one error and it's here. Num points. Skill points. Okay, so grants num skill points to each of your adventurers. This is just a perk for the demo since there isn't enough content to be able to naturally get to the maximum level. Have fun experimenting with skills. Okay. Hey, Cube. Yeah, launch hasn't really started yet. I realized I want to do this yesterday, but I spent a lot of time doing other stuff. I was stuck on a bug for so long. I cleaned up some other things in the game. Honestly, it wasn't a ton. I'm feeling a little bit burned out, this is all kind of intentional. I've got a vacation coming up in about a week and a half, and I thought I should really push for these demos and just make sure I'm doing everything I can. Okay, so here's what we do. We are going to grant a skill point. No, we're going to go through this the normal way, I guess. We're going to win that battle. That did nothing because I'm stupid. Let's do that. Okay, so now we have a skill point. We put a skill point into here. Let's save that. And then let's go further. Okay, so now I could get more money. And that means I'd be able to get this perk that otherwise would not be possible. Here it is. End of demo reward. Grants 4 skill points to each of your adventurers. This is just a perk for the demo since there isn't enough content to be able to naturally get to the maximum level. Have fun experimenting with skills. As we click this, it took 1,001 from us, and it should have given us 4 skill points, but it didn't do that at all. Uh-oh. Hey, Magnetic Bind. Thank you very much. Why didn't that work? It would have been here that we would have needed to do this. So let's just try that again. All right, what is going on with this? 4? What? Oh, I know what's going on. Oh my God, it's a good thing I tested this. We can't test the innate abilities. We need to just know which ones did you put points into. I don't even know how we do that. I guess we could just subtract 3 from this. This is so dumb. This is the whole reason why I should just level you up. Yeah, I think it's a much smarter idea to just level them up. All right, fine. So we'll call level up adventurers and we'll just set this to the maximum level. And it should be safe to call this many times. Town.level of adventurers. This just takes in the number, right? Game constants dot max level. All right, let's make sure this is fine to call multiple times. We go through each adventurer, we add their level. Yeah, this'll sort of work. Actually, this is the better way of doing things. We just set that you beat more bosses than you really did. And that way, every time you hire a new adventurer, you'll get them set to the max level as well. That's okay. As long as we're doing hacky stuff, let's do it the sort of correctly hacky way. So number equals this minus 1. And let me guess, this isn't a setter? No, it's not. Okay, well, we can't do it that way then. There's no good way to do this. Yeah, we'd have to, yeah, there's no good way to do this. All right, let's just subtract 3. So this minus 3 are like num innate skills. Do we have that as a constant somewhere? No. But we know that it's 3. Constant num innate skills equals 3. All right, now we go try that out. Big Cursor Man's back for the launch. Hey, Athena, welcome back. You've been pretty consistent dropping in the mornings. Good to see you again. Yeah, we're doing a couple of quick tasks and then launching. What I'm testing out is to make sure that this new like demo specific perk actually works. We should probably test this by not having all the adventurers unlocked too. Okay. Oops. Not maybe later. Okay, now we click this. It breaks in. The total number of points plus this minus this is equal to 2. Yes, good. And 2 is not greater than 2, so we don't break. So we just got a bunch of skill points. And yeah, we'd be able to spend them now. So every character has 6, which is how many you would have if all the content exists in the game. So now if we save and load, they should not end up with like way more than they just had. Yeah, and you can't buy this thing again, right? No. Yeah. Okay, so there's just one last thing to test here. And it's if you have a brand new game and you never unlock more characters, does this still work? That's not what I meant to do. I am being silly. All right. There we go. Get the amount of money that we need. Get this. So now the rogue should have 6 skill points total. It doesn't automatically update, which is kind of too bad. But now if we unlock other adventurers, they're hopefully hired in at the right amount. Nope, they're not. Oh my God, there's no doing this. It's actually late night where I live. I see. Hey, Shoe Strikers and hey, Ocleus. I've emerged completely defeated. My power level is at 0. Now I must lurk here and regain my strength. Defeated? Did you learn a lot? Hey, Mars. Oh man. Okay, so the only way to do this is to trick the game into thinking we've beaten more elites than we have. Or to just tell you that this is only for your current adventurers, which is kind of dumb. Or to continue here. That might work. Yeah, I did not think about that. Let's try that. So we just save this, we reload. And that way it just won't run this on any adventurers you already had. Then we only have one other tiny thing to do here, which even if we didn't do it would be pretty minor. Brains don't roll. Okay, good. At least you learned something. I was gonna say if you felt defeated because you got stuck somewhere, that could definitely be bad. Load the game. So we only have 2 adventurers. We hire a new one. And now this one should spawn in with all the skill points. Good. Yeah. All right, that did fix this. Check if this skill is unlocked in the code that levels up an adventure. Yeah, that would work too. This also works because we call this every time we hire an adventurer. So now the only other thing we need to do is if we did grant skill points to do town dot. Oh, we can't do that. We need to update the skill tree. There's some like update selected character. Yeah, what calls this? Loaded game from save. Okay, well, we definitely can't do that. There's a leveled up adventurers. Could we fake that? Beat instance for first time. It's probably not a good idea. Everything I'm about to do would be a hack. So we're just trying to figure out what's the least offensive hack. Hack number 1 would be just make this thing public. How many times does this show up? 9 places? Yeah, so that's hack number 1. Then we just directly call into this. Hack number 2 is add a signal that like, hey, this thing was leveled up. And then apply. Actually, maybe we have like player abilities changed. Needs to reapply player abilities. Yeah, maybe this will work. Q reapply. Where is this used? This is when you load the game, when you create a worker, when you add an adventurer. Oh, there it is. Player ability level change. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so we can just do that here. If ID equals ability ID.demo, then skill tree dot update character selected. Oh, all right. Now we try that out. Hey, Have. Yeah. This is definitely hacky. All right. So what did we just fix? It's gonna, yeah, I know what we fixed. We gotta go do this thing. Okay, so now we have enough to get this. And now it shows 2 skill points. When we click this, it should just immediately go to showing however many, 6. Yeah, good, it worked. Okay, that's it. That's that one. Now we have one more change we want to make, which is make the end instances a lot harder. Why is it not showing up? Player, demo, skill points. And if this is broken, it doesn't really matter. Even if it gave you like 1,000,000 skill points, players would probably feel like, oh, cool, there's a glitch and I got more than I should have gotten. Is the description in game good enough? Grants 4 skill points to each of your adventurers. This is just a perk for the demo since there isn't enough content to be able to naturally get to the maximum level. Have fun experimenting with skills. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Looking good here. This is all super hacky. Good, good, and good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Add demo perk to get skill points. It costs 1,001, so you can only get this after beating the dragon. All right, now we need to get what that commit message or what the commit hash is, because I got to write this down in a new issue, which is delete everything, or I guess just revert the demo perk commit. This commit, this was only introduced for the demo and needs to be removed. Pretty much all of the code can be reverted unless we're still using the star icon somewhere else. But everything else doesn't matter. And I don't think we're going to use that star icon, but we might as well put this here and then put it in the right milestone, which is before launch. This is dead simple to do, and this is very high priority, but we can't do it yet. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to do is make the final area more difficult. I don't think there's a lot of difficulty there now. All instance data, Inferno. Worms, do worms exist anywhere else? Yes. Okay, so we can't just bump their power up. Do blue slimes exist somewhere else? Yes. All right, do red skeletons? Also yes. Is there any unique enemy here? Orange worms are. Grims are. And red slime. So if we want to make this place tougher, we need to bump their difficulty up. Orange worm, grim, red slime. Orange worm. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make them do, I don't know, 50 damage and have 600 life. And then regular grims. Why are these like the weakest enemies? What? I probably just never rebalanced this. All right, let's make them do 80 damage and have 450 life. I'm just making things up over here. And then red slime. Let's give them 90 damage and 300 life. Hey, TJ. Also, Hef, I don't know if I said hi to you, but hi, Hef. All right, that's it. Very scientific. We just randomly changed some numbers. And now we're going to go make sure that there's actually no way to test this easily, because you won't have the stats of being level 7. This will probably be impossible. There's no unlock all locations. Yeah, okay, so here's what I got to do. I'm going to go into town, change grant most things to not make us the highest level. We want to level them up to level 3. Everything else is fine to do here. And let's give ourselves the town hall. If town hall is null, create town hall. I just want to see how badly the adventurers get destroyed here. It's probably going to be pretty bad, because I think 90 damage is enough to like 3-shot an adventurer. I don't think there's anything you can do about that. Oh, I think I just built 2 of those. Whoopsie. Okay, so now we have all of our adventurers with a bunch of skill points. Let's just pick something here. I'm not going to try to make this great. There. Mage. I guess you can put 6 adventurers in, so I do need to do this on many of these. These and these, yep, sure. Let's make you take less damage, That and that and that. I'm going to turn off the sound effects. I don't know if those are getting annoying. That. It's probably still possible to win this, and we're going to try super hard here. Maybe get the paladin as well. Okay, something like that. Let's try that out. Now you go to the final area, and we put in all of the adventurers I actually gave points to. And then speed this up. They should get through the first phase just fine, because I don't think maybe I did increase the difficulty then? Yeah, it definitely looks like I increased the difficulty. Alright, they're still able to win. Oh, now they're dying. Yeah, they're dying. There's probably no point in doing this. Yeah, I was gonna say the elites level up, so I guess you can just fight them over and over. Made a decision. Thank them for the opportunity and confidence in me to be able to handle a project of this magnitude, but I think I'm gonna pass. Yeah, I'm glad you thought about it some more too, because I think some people might think like new opportunity, this means I have to take it. But if you're happy where you are, you're happy where you are. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to change with your life. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna just reject this entire change. I don't think this matters. Yeah. Okay. All right, then that means that we can get ready to launch. Do the launch steps. Don't I have a releasing note? Yeah, here it is. Bump project Godot config version. We're already on version 5. That's fine. Export all the builds. I should probably, yeah, let's export all the builds. I should probably test them after doing that. Step 1, fuel the rocket. Fueling. I'll write that in here. Open a build just to make sure it runs. And then I didn't commit debug stuff. Hey, Blob, thank you. All right, so we're waiting for these progress bars right now, which you can't even see. There they are. What time is it? 8:54. Okay, yeah. I think I estimated it would be 10 o'clock, and we'll probably get this done at 9 o'clock. Doing QA smoke testing. That's for QA. This is funny to me, TJ. I don't know if you have the extension that shows you what this emote is. I know that Sir Puffin typed feels good, man. But to me, it just shows the emote. So you said it does. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, maybe you just used to feels good, man. That's why he's Sir Puffin. All right, so we built all the builds. Now we go into Skeleseller, game, out. And the very important thing is to delete this one. Open this. And then I got to rename that to checkpoint 5. Okay, now let's try launching it. Should work. Do we have sound effects and stuff? Yeah. I'm just gonna go through this super fast and make sure nothing's like terribly broken here. Yeah, everything looks fine. Yeah, the extension, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, let's push this. CD tools, SS tools, and then upload to itch. Anything else? Is the game on Steam? Not quite yet. You'll have to play through itch today, but we have a Steam page. So if you want to wishlist it, that would be great. May take a minute before it shows the new builds. You don't need to take any action. And then I wrote, I haven't written these instructions yet on uploading to Steam yet, because we don't have that yet. Was there anything else here? Do the launch steps, edit today. Okay, we got to go to itch and make sure the new builds made it there. Hey, Vortex. It's not actually, you won't see any download links yet. I gotta publish this. So this is now version 0.5. Anything else that needs to be changed here? Uploaded today at 8:56 a.m. That's good. This is an early version. Probably launch mid 2025. Yeah. Oh, feedback. The feedback link has to change. URL opener. We gotta put this here. I'm glad I looked at this. Anything else? Credits, see here, that's fine. Where is these? We don't disable and we don't unlist it. So save this. So it should be downloadable now. Let's take a look. We go here. It should say version 5. There should be download links. Yeah, okay. It is now available. Version history should change too. Yeah, I already did that yesterday. So this has the January 7th stuff here. All right, you can all go play the game if you want. Mentions upgrading your adventures and how to play. Yes, that is a good point. I will fix that. Hire adventurers, send them into battle. Loot will automatically be sold by you and the adventurers. Use money to upgrade the town. Save. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, Adam just launched version 0.5 of Skeleseller. Adam party. Play it here. Here being... Did I close that? I closed it. Please make sure to wishlist the game on Steam. Steam. All right. Hey, Ojun. Hey, Thomas. All right. Good luck on the hog hunt. Yeah. So, okay. Anyone who's going to play this, you are welcome to. It is free. You can download it now. It's on every operating system. Please do two things. One is wishlist the game if you haven't already. You can do that right now. You don't need to do it through the game. But the second is whenever you feel like you're at a natural stopping point, maybe you get frustrated after 3 minutes and you're closing the game. At that point, click provide feedback. It'll pop up a form. You can just fill this out. It's pretty quick. And yeah, it's like 5 questions and 4 of them are multiple choice. That would help out a lot. We've gotten some really, really good feedback in the past, and it's helped steer where the game is going. Also, minor and controls, you can add M for the battle map, and there's no mention you can drag to move the camera. Yeah, let's do that too. Thank you. I don't think people end up reading this, to be honest, which is too bad. Opens the town perks if you've built the town hall. B opens the buildings menu. M opens the battle map. Skill tree, open the town hall tree. All right, I think that's correct. P, M, B, and T. P is still correct. M, B, and T. Yeah, those are all right. All right, save that. Just wishlisted. Thank you both. I appreciate it, Derp, and handy with pen and paper and pen. Excuse me. Just reversing things. I'm in. Yeah, so today, now the rest of the stream is mostly about just sitting around feeling good about myself and then kind of taking in feedback. So if you encounter any bugs, any issues, people always ask, how do I report these? And it's whatever's easiest for you. So you want to type it here. That's totally fine. Discord, that's fine. In the feedback form, that's fine. So whatever you prefer. Handy is fine. My parents call me Handy with paper and pen. All right, I'll write that down. I'm gonna put this in my name thing too, just in case I ever forget. There. Playing game right now for the first time? Yeah, excellent. Okay, and then at some point, I want some help from somebody. This is pretty minor. I'll probably just ask for this later. But basically, if you're playing the game and you see anything that looks a little unusual in any of these skills, or something's not clear, please tell me. I was hoping that maybe someone could go through every single skill, but that's not really necessary. So like I said, if anything's unclear, or if you're like, why is that bold? It's possible I just messed something up. Look around button at initial load and looks broken on Mac, at least for me. Is it that you clicked it and it didn't seem like anything happened? Because that's normal. And yeah, I kind of need to fix that. But yeah, let me know how it's broken. Because it's possible it's a known issue and it's possible it's something new. Is it okay if I'll try like only 20 to 30 minutes? Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah. Yeah, play for however long you want, even if it's 0 minutes. That's okay. I will say this, if you play for 20 to 30 minutes and you plan on playing more, probably wait to submit feedback, because I don't think you can edit the feedback, although maybe you can. So yeah, if you plan on playing for an extra 30 minutes afterward, then maybe wait until you've actually experienced as much as you would have naturally wanted to. I'm not saying to push yourself or do more than you would have wanted to, but yeah, you can only submit the feedback once, I think, to work in their time off. Yeah, it's like you're paying them to do the work. Yeah, Nitch, please do let me know how it looks broken. This I might do later. I'm not sure. All right, announce on Discord. Let's go do that. News. I shouldn't type this here. Skeleseller version 0.5 is out. It has just launched. I guess we'll just copy all the same stuff I had here before. The actual button just looks like it isn't fully loaded in. I only see about 25% of the button, and the rest of it's a really thin vertical or horizontal line. Could you try screenshotting it and then just upload it to Imager or something? Because I'm also on Mac, and I don't think that happens for me. Let me load up the build that you have. Not sure what would even cause it. Yeah. 25% of the button, and the rest of it's really thin vertical and horizontal lines. Sounds like it could be a font problem, but I don't know. I don't know what would cause it. I think I would need to see it. Also, let me know if you see any other buttons in the game. Like if you press escape, does it look broken on any of those buttons? Strange. What would you like me to upload the screenshot to? Anything you're comfortable with. If you want, it could be on Discord. I think that might be the easiest because then you can just drag and drop it. Otherwise, maybe Imager or really any other image uploading tool. Unfortunately, Twitch doesn't have something built in, so yeah, it'll need to be some external service. All right, consider joining the Skeleseller feedback. Yeah, cool. All right, that's it. That's this news post. Consider joining the Skeleseller Discord for any of the feedback or notes you may have, and please wishlist the game here. Okay. Oh, that's very broken. Are any other buttons broken? Were they broken on the title screen? Thanks for reporting this. I don't know what could cause this. Because this pattern is really weird. It's all supposed to be one texture, and it loaded just some of the edges. This is like the GPU is corrupted or something, or it's out of VRAM. Every button is broke. I have that too. Maharaja, are you on Mac as well? It does feel like a GPU bug, but I think Mac auto updates its graphics drivers, right? Windows 11, interesting. Oh. Today was the update you wanted me to play and give feedback? Yeah, Paj. I think it's in a state that it would be good to give feedback now. This is very unusual. A couple of people are seeing all buttons like this. Wait a second. So the rest of this picture, though, where did the picture go? The non-negative version of that. I think I closed it. The rest of the picture. Oh, nice. Every other texture loaded just fine. It's just buttons for some reason. Strange. Okay, thank you very much for reporting this. Let me collect some of this information. Let me also give you a point. Whoops, that's not how you get points. All right, a couple of people are seeing buttons look like this. So there's that, and then there is, where's the second image? Here it is, copy image. Actually, I should just file this as an issue. What am I doing? Button textures look corrupted. All right, let's copy both those images. Copy, paste, and paste. Then let me copy everything that Niche said here. Oh, I copied the Twitch recap thing. Okay, there's that, and then I'll copy this. I have that too, Windows 11 with AMD GPU. Hey, Lindsay. Looks like you should test the build you published as well to make sure it's not a build-specific issue. Yeah, I did test it, and it's happening on both Windows and Mac, but it's not happening for me. I wonder if there's some other... where can we try the game out? On itch, there's the link. Niche, can you tell me more about your hardware? I know you said Mac Sonoma, but what kind of Mac are you on? It can't be an AMD driver issue alone because I don't think Mac can have AMD graphics cards by default. Unless this person's on like a Hackintosh or something, in which case, yeah, I guess all bets are off at that point. Is it possible to move the battle window? I want it bottom left corner. It is not possible to move that, no. All right, so corrupted buttons. I'm going to copy your feedback down, by the way, Thomas. I will take that into account. Yeah, and Maharaja, I don't actually know what else I would get from, if it's on Windows. I guess it would have to be AMD. And Windows 11, so it's a new enough computer. Okay, so Maharaja, at least for you specifically, have you updated your graphics drivers recently? Or could you update them? Does it look like there's an update for them? Because that's what this makes me think. Godot button textures are corrupted. Because the weird thing is, this isn't happening with anything else in the game. Like all the trees, the skeleton, the paths, all that stuff's rendering fine. And those, if anything, would be the heavier resources. Not yet, I can check. Give me a sec. Yeah, sure, that would be good. Bizarre. Weird texture corruption. That's not the same thing. Huh. Thanks, David, on YouTube. Congrats on the launch. I appreciate it. Is there a new song? Yes, there is. But you can only have heard it after being in the game for minimally 5 minutes, I think. MacBook Pro processor. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right, so you're on an Intel Mac. Interesting. Yeah, I appreciate this information. This is pretty good. Okay, how do we search for when this was released? Because it was still the Intel Macs. When was the last Intel Mac? When was the last Intel Mac made? 2019. Okay, so it has to be at least 5 years old, really kind of 6. Not that that means I shouldn't support this or something. I'm just trying to get a little bit more information here. Win 10 with AMD Radeon, old drivers. I keep them old. I just can't believe this is happening. Thank you for reporting that. I do wonder if updating your drivers would fix this. Hey Fern, how you doing? We're checking the import settings and texture filter for that texture are different. The disabled texture looks fine, which should be similar. Yeah, that's true. Where would we have that? That would be in a theme. The game settings? No, in-game menu. That's what it's called. The in-game menu has the theme. No, something does here. What has the theme? There it is. Close button. Is the close button one of the ones that's messed up? Yeah, although I guess all of them have the close button theme. All right, what is the texture on this thing? Set to inherit. I don't think that's a thing we control through here anyway. And if it's inherited, then it's probably getting linear from somewhere. It is. But then the dialog box has the same problem. It's just on those buttons. Oddly enough, it's actually 2020. Oh, wow. Okay. I have the GPU updating now. Can confirm Linux build works and buttons are not corrupted. I'll check the game itself later. Okay, cool. Thank you, Lindsay. Also, it wasn't until Fern was trying to pronounce her name yesterday that I was like, oh, it must be Lindsay. I don't think I have it written down anywhere. No. Although I think I've asked you before, and I think Fern asked you, and I think in both cases, I don't think you answered either one of us. But I'm going to say Lindsay. Never got confirmation on this. Game defaulted to 2x scale for me, which is great from a UI and art perspective, but I can't resize the window below my monitor height, which makes it hard to play. I had to go to 1x scale and the UI is a bit harder to read. Can the window be resized smaller than my monitor? Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah. Also, the auto resizing to 2x is something we just recently did. Yeah, I'll write this down. I think this is pretty important. All right. Yeah, this we gotta put a star for. This is definitely important. Had a completed battle and bought auto battle after I enabled auto battle, and if I recall correctly, my adventurer walked away and didn't start a new fight. That does sound like a bug. If you could try reproducing that at some point, that would be good. But I know if you said you have to buy auto battle, it might be harder for you to do than for me to do. I still get these black like lines up here. Those are a different issue. That's known. That's a sprite bleeding issue. And it's very frustrating because it's very prominent, but it should get fixed in a later version of Godot. And until that later version of Godot comes out, it'd be very tedious for us to fix it, although it is possible. And actually, maybe that's something we should do. Yeah, we probably should. We should fix sprite bleeding ourselves, since we won't have a new version of Godot before next fest. We just need more padding around each sprite in the sprite sheet. Maybe I can automatically, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Because every texture coordinate would be broken. 2x every sprite sheet. To make the new coordinates easier to figure out. I don't know. Hey, Seifel. Not on the higher adventurer button? Are they made differently? They have different textures. It could be that one of the textures is failing to load somehow. The thing is, though, they're stored in files that make me think they wouldn't be problems. I mean, obviously they're problems, but they're stored like this. They're just in their own file. So it's not like it was part of a texture atlas and it's just, it can't render that one button or something. Name pronunciation is good. Thanks for asking. Okay, gotcha. Lindsay it is. All right. Button texture, need to restart PC. Is it meant to say 3G? Yeah, it says in the perks thing itself, and I know this isn't super obvious. It says item prices will still appear to be the same. That's kind of, it's pretty much just a bug. But yeah, what engine do I use? I'm using Godot. Yeah. All right, let me write this stuff down. Same issue, had to go full screen to make the battle map fully visible, to make it fully visible. Oh, that's another solution for now. Yeah, that's a good point. Full screening the game is a good workaround for now. Or changing to 1x scale. All right, where's the button texture thing? Let's go copy this in there. What is on my clipboard? Yeah, here. The now you have an adventure arrow is blurry, unlike the rest of the game. Oh, you know what? We might have used the wrong filter on that. Ah, we did. Actually, no, we didn't. It's just a little blurry, I think. I think it's going to be blurry either way. It's set to inherit by default, and linear is the other option that we have. How big is that arrow? 160 by 60. Why is it not opening up? Oh, there it is. Huh. I think we need to make sure this doesn't scale. Did I scale this? I did not. Is the graphic itself just blurry? Is that... I think maybe it looks a little fuzzier than the other graphics. Yeah, that's probably it. All right, I can probably clean that up a little bit. Let me write that down. Yeah, transparency on the edges. I will write this down. I think it's a graphic itself, not a texture filter. Probably the transparency on the edges. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. See if I'm missing anything else. If the skeleton picks up an item they can't place anywhere, are they supposed to just run around holding it continuously? So, yes, from a code perspective, that is how they were coded. But I think no from a player perspective. So yeah, if people are commenting on this, it means we should probably prioritize worker or something over here. For dropping, prioritize this issue. Oh, thanks, Vern. Thanks for the 300 bits. You replaced your one purple badge with another purple badge now. I appreciate it. I have difficulty with the scale. I pressed maybe the last scale, and I think I need to close the game now. Yeah, that is a known issue. We really should do something about that. In fact, we probably should just delete those scale options unless we detect that your monitor or your game window is gigantic. Maybe even delete those scale options unless the game window is gigantic. There is an issue with that, which is the settings page. This, allow for reverting or rejecting changes. Alternatively, do the right thing. Allow reversion of settings. Well, I don't need to do the right thing. We'll just do that. There. I don't need customers this early. The slime is good enough. I think that's good feedback. I think we should make it a little bit worse and make it so you upgrade them. Rebalance the slime so that you have to upgrade them to make them pay more money. Because that's kind of how I felt too. And I don't want to introduce the slime later. I just want to make them a little bit worse at the beginning. Don't want to introduce them later since I think it's still a fun feature. They shouldn't be as good. You can fix the scale issue in game by switching from window to full screen. Yeah, you're right, Galrosh. I do need to still fix this. Like that, I think that's a good workaround, but I need to eventually fix this for people too. There's big blank green areas from the background down the left and right side. Other than building out the map far left and right for ultra wide, good excuse to buy one to test, right? Yeah, we've got to do something about that. That's been written down about the gray area behind the map. Stop showing blank or gray space. Yeah. I should probably write like issues that people have commented on. Blank space on map. Joker Dan. No idea how I can change the scale now. Okay, so this is pretty obnoxious, Shoe Strikers, and I'm sorry that you'll have to do this, but go to that location. So depending on which operating system you're on, you'll have a different location. And if it's Windows, you can literally copy paste this into Explorer. It knows how to expand app data. So go into that location, and then you should see a file named local settings. I have a ton of stuff. You should see a file named local settings. Just delete that. Or open it up and change the game scale manually from 4 down to 2 or 1. But that's the only way to fix that for right now. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the thing that happens when people set it to 4x is sometimes their monitors are so small they can't even see these settings anymore because they get bumped off the screen. Because I think the minimum game window height might be like 500 pixels, which would mean that, no, it means it should still be visible. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and adding water behind this, we don't have a nice connection for a lot of this stuff. Like here, for example, it looks like this tree should just go off the top, but that doesn't actually exist. So we need to do something that's a little bit different because yeah, right now we just have this green blank space on the outside. And only people with large enough monitors even really see this right now. But yeah, we obviously need to fix that. This is good. There are a lot of things that I'm like, okay, I think this is fine for now, but we still need to fix these at some point. The tip window hides the explorer's hut sign. Yeah, that's got to be fixed. We got to put that into a different space entirely. I might assign this to Kevin hints. Yeah. Hints dialogue is in camera space. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Spoilers there, Joker Dan. Yeah, let me put these things side by side. I only announced on one of the Discords. I gotta go. I didn't even announce it there. Okay, so let's announce it here. Publish. And then let's. Oh, hey, someone else joined. Welcome, Vortex. Let's also go publish it here. Welcome, Melody and Vortex. And publish a new thing. I'll just copy the same thing I typed over here. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, announce on Discord done. Record another vlog on Tuesday. Oh my God. The work never ends. All right, so Monday, tenants, journal. Tuesday, record another vlog, question mark. I think it'd be a good idea to do. The map pre-battle looks a bit weird, where the circle and lines are very sharp, but the map behind it looks rather smooth. Yeah, we want to change the style on these things, and we just haven't done that yet. But yeah, I'll write that down. Wonder if we have an issue for that. We don't. Change battle map paths and points. I'm not exactly sure how we should make them look, but they feel unfinished. Okay. Worth adding a troubleshooting or known issues section in the itch page with how to reset settings. Yeah, it could be. I don't think many people are probably going to read any of this. And history has kind of shown that to be the case because a lot of people ask about shortcuts and I'm like, oh, they're on the page. So I think if they have any issues, they're probably not going to go look at the page to find out how to solve those issues. So for now, I'll just stick to Twitch and Discord. And then eventually, I mean, we need to fix these problems. Until you defeat the ogre, it's unclear how you can upgrade your characters unless I missed some tips. So it's unclear because you can't. So the game is... I'm actually not sure what we should do in this case. Like, on one hand, we could let you know that there's nothing you can do. Could tell you that you can't do anything. That's a little strange. We could give you something to do so that you feel like you can progress. Maybe unlock the tavern and do one quest. You can't do quests before the ogre because you can't get the tavern before the ogre. At least I don't think so. I think we block it based on you having beaten a boss. Tavern sign, if applicable. Yeah, you need to have beaten a boss for that. Hovering over the circles in the map, tooltip gets overlaid by the click start battle. Yeah, that I know about. That was actually kind of intentional. I still want the UI to work, but I don't want you to get distracted. Then again, I guess if you're doing that, I guess maybe that shouldn't have been intentional. Let's write this down. Yeah, maybe we should fix that. Change the Z order. This violates, I typed that wrong twice. Expectations, which is enough reason to reorder these things. Maybe we shouldn't have access to the character skill window. Okay, so the reason why I think you need access to that window is because I want you to be able to see what's going on with your skills. Otherwise, you might see something like mental swiftness popping up in battle and be like, what in the world? What does that mean? What's going on? And you're eventually going to have access to these things. And this also lets you see your stats and know what the stats do. So there's a lot of information on this page, even though you can't upgrade your character yet. With that said, there are tooltips on practically everything as well to tell you how you level up and how you gain stats. So I'm not sure what to do. Maybe show the skills, but not the levels up. When you say not the level, you mean just don't show rank 1? Or you mean not the buttons here? Or, oh, not the bottom section entirely, maybe? I'm torn on that. I think showing what will eventually be here is fine. Yeah, not the buttons or the skills. All right, I'll write this down. So Human Puppet suggested that we don't show the section on the skill tree where you can actually add points until you've gotten a point. They were unclear on how you could upgrade your adventurers pre-ogre. Adam just walked into my game. I liked your suggestion, Freak Technique, about having a slime customer. I think that would be cool. There's a weird lag. Everything stops for about half a second when clicking on the adventure on the pre-battle map. You're saying when clicking this sort of thing? I'm trying to see if dragging would do something. No. Yes. Okay, what operating system are you on? I have not heard about that. Also, is anyone else having that weird lag too? Like, does it click? Does it feel like your click is going through immediately when you click these things? Ubuntu. Okay, it's a Linux thing maybe? Fedora user, everything seems fine to me. Right, so it's not just a blanket Linux problem. I'm not sure what would cause that to take any amount of time though. It's not doing anything too intense during that time. Huh. Yeah, maybe it is just a performance thing. All right, I'll copy this too. Let me take a quick look at that. There's the party chooser. And when you click an adventurer, I think it calls swap section. Yeah, it calls swap section. So what does this do? Removes it from one, adds it to another. Remove is just free the thing. Add, I believe, makes a new party member, but that shouldn't be a heavy process. Yeah, it instantiates a scene, then adds them to the scene, and then initializes it. And it happens every time, Nui? Yes, every time. Interesting. Happens every time for them. Gets end of life this April. Yeah, I do wonder if it's just an update thing. I know you mentioned the other games run well, but this is a fairly lightweight thing that's happening here. We happen to create another one of these scenes, and those scenes aren't super intense. It's like it's a texture, it's a life bar, another texture, and a couple labels. So if battles are running smoothly for you, then there's no reason why this shouldn't be running smoothly as well. Which makes me think maybe it's something about event handling, like the click isn't registering. But then I guess you'd notice that on everything else that you're clicking. Like if it seems like if you click the close button, if that took half a second, I'd be like, okay, that's a little clearer what the problem is here. Even that shouldn't be expensive. Yeah, none of that should be, at least not compared to the rest of the game. It's like maybe relatively we're talking about, let's say, a 2x or a 3x difference, but it's, nanoseconds. Hmm. Okay, let me go through this. Can I do something with those running characters? I want to click on them and do something with them, like maybe drag them, or I don't know, tickle. When you say running characters, you mean the customers? Like these ones? Or do you mean your adventurers? Because currently, no, you can't do anything with them. The only thing I'm thinking of letting you do is whenever there's a customer who wants a specific item, letting you drag the item onto them. But that would be it. That's the only interaction I'm planning on having. Yeah, all of those. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I don't think there'd be anything else necessarily. Anyway, we have a list of questions that I made for myself a very long time ago to see if we're on the right track here. So I'm going to read through some of these because I like to do this after every launch. Can you pet the person? They slowly grow cat ears. Does it feel like there's enough to do at any time? Should we add more manual actions? I think the game's in a pretty good state so far, but I do think we need some more stuff toward the end. Should the game just be much shorter than I originally planned? I was following, I mentioned that I've been looking up a bunch of advice on Steam Next Fest Online, and I found someone who made a game about magnets. What's it called? Mind over Magnet. So there's a YouTuber who's got like 1.5 million subscribers, and he made this game, and this is a game, and it's got very positive reviews. And what I like to do is I like to see, okay, what are the negative reviews for any game? And a lot of these people say this is a good game. It's just somewhere between 1 to 3 hours long, so it's not worth the money. And this is priced at $10. And it just made me think, okay, this got 1,000 reviews, and you typically multiply by about 40 to get how many sales there are. So maybe about 40,000 sales. So this person made about $400,000 gross on this game. And again, we're estimating here. I don't know this for sure. And I just wonder, okay, let's say they priced it at $5, or let's say they said this game is 1 to 2 hours in the description. What would that have done for this game? And I'm guessing, since I think this was launched long enough ago, do I keep closing tabs? What am I doing? I keep wanting to refer to something and then I've closed it. Mind over magnet. When was this launched? Oh, it wasn't actually that long ago. Never mind. I was gonna say I thought this was like a year ago, and I was gonna say then that's probably as many sales as it's gonna get. It'll probably trickle in after that, but it's not that long, so it might still expand from there. Anyway, I always wonder about this stuff. Click them will make them run faster. Extra metagame. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Gives them a little speed boost or something. I like the idea. Let me copy this. We could actually do this. maybe just for customers, would probably need to indicate that it happened. I do feel like he has a bit of a special situation considering how many of those sales might be solely due to his reach. Definitely changes the price points possible. Yeah, I think so too. But to be clear, my point was I think that while he like $400,000 is pretty good, while he made a lot of money and will probably make some more money, I wonder if it could have been even more if those 10% of the reviews hadn't happened because the people were just like, oh, yeah, I expected this to be a 2 hour long game. And it was a 2 hour long game. So paying $5 for it was fine. And now it doubled in sales or reached more people or I don't know. You think in some crypto in the save, Jason, to avoid money hack? No, I don't think so. I think if you hack your save file in a single player game, it's not really a big deal. For anyone curious, what Frag Zero is talking about is right now the save files are just straight up human readable, human modifiable. So if you go in here and set your max money to like 150,000, nothing stops you from doing that. And even for the full launch of the game, I don't really think anything should stop you from doing that. Like I said, at best, maybe we just compress the file. So now what you'd have to do is you have to unzip and then modify and then zip it again. And that's at least slightly more of a hassle. But even that, it's like, if my philosophy is I don't really care if you do it, then why even try to stop you from doing it? Clicked on an item in the warehouse, the same tick the worker picked it up, and now there's an item laying. Oh my God, that's what causes that? Oh my goodness. That has been a bug for a very long time, and I never knew what the cause was. I'm going to give you a point, even if that's not the cause, because that will at least give me something to look into. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the bug. I never knew what caused it. All right, let's see if we can repro this now that we know kind of what the cause is. So we got to stop. We got to click something as soon as, okay, well, I need to know what they're going to go to, and I don't know what they're going to. All right, wait, let's add some more workers. Yeah, I've gotta, can I get rid of items? Yeah, I can do that. Let's get rid of some of these so that if they're going to an item, I know which item they're going to. So now let's just eye this one and try to click it on the same frame that someone goes over to it. We'll add some more workers. I couldn't do it. Oh man. All right, you know what we could do? We could set up a save file specifically for this situation. I'll speed this up. And we'll wait for them all to pick up items. They probably won't because I think I don't have the shops that they need for that. Let's do this. There. All right, now they should eventually pick up the rest of them. We just gotta wait. 2 more items. 1 more item. Good, cool. They got them all. Now I save this. I load. And now we try to do this. Come on. That looked like it. Oh, it looked like it messed up because there were multiple skeletons on top of each other. There aren't supposed to be like 400 skeletons in the game. I can't get this to happen. Stupid skeletons. Yeah, I can't get it to happen. I'll have to slow it down or something. Or look at the code. Good luck trying to replicate. Settings fine. Save 0.5 seconds. Load 10 seconds. Huh. Yeah. I had 1,000 positive reviews on a small indie game. That would be enough for me to purchase. Yeah, that's true. It's not like they ended up in the mixed territory or something. And Yeah. And either way, we'll never know. What if they had launched and they had the price point lower? What if they had launched and they had 10 hours of gameplay? They can't relaunch and wipe out the Steam reviews. All right. We were doing frame perfect glitches. We were trying. I mean, if Freak Technic is right about this, I really should look at the code. Okay, these times are concerning. But it points to a perf problem. Yeah. Trying to think here. Other games run well. What's an example of other games that you play on this laptop, Nui? I'm wondering if we can get sort of a benchmark for one of those games. Maybe like if Minecraft works, how long does it take you to make a new world or something? I changed my UI skill and now I can't start a battle. Let me think about this. What is your skill set to? And when you say I can't start a battle, are you seeing any red text show up right here? Or is it just that you're unable to even see the start battle button? Because it's not you doing something wrong. We definitely need to prioritize this because I think a lot of people run into this situation. Need to prioritize. Actually, yeah, just need to prioritize this. Lots of people are hitting this issue. Now on 1x and on 4K, the menu is almost as long as the whole screen. It's doing the sound, but no battle. Can you take a screenshot, Galrosh? And Kappa, when you say the menu is almost as long as the whole screen, you mean this? Because I was going to say that this menu expands, which, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that. But it's anchored to different points of the screen. Yes, you do. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think of that as a problem, but maybe we should consider that to be a problem. Well, it's nice that the game defaults to 2x at 1440. Battle map doesn't fit on the screen at that setting, and if I send 3 adventurers on 3 separate battles, the third battle window is very barely visible. Yeah, this was a change we just made like yesterday or the day before, because I had a friend who was playing on a 4K monitor and she was having difficulty seeing, but then again, she had enough space for 2x scale to work. So I think we need to change this. Maybe, I'm not sure actually, but yeah, I think we need to change this. You do something about this, and I'm not totally sure what yet. Maybe just allowing the game window to be smaller so that 2x doesn't have things going off screen. With battle windows though, we should maybe only default to 2x when you're on a 4K resolution or higher. I was clicking the portal to fight. That button after each fight was not intuitive for me. Now I can just press repeat button. What button wasn't intuitive for you? The repeat battle button? Because I'm curious what should it have been titled for you to know what that would do? Because you're talking about this, right? Repeat battle. Is it just that it wasn't apparent that it was a button? Because actually, now that I think about this, we really shouldn't have these like unstyled buttons here. Can't access or see the battle menu, but I hear my adventurer in the background in auto battle. Yeah. Yeah. I don't play often, but I played Minecraft, Terraria, Little Inferno, Blender, fine. Okay. I wonder, you know what this might be? There were some issues that Darkstorm ran into with a specific kind of older GPU. I don't know when this GPU came out, so let's look this up. But maybe there's something similar going on here. That's not the, it's an integrated GPU. Never mind. I was copying the CPU. Integrated GPU. Do you know when you got the laptop? All right, let me copy this as far as the scale stuff goes. I didn't think of it like a battle. Okay. Let me copy that. So wait, it's that you didn't think of it like a battle. It's not that you didn't know that the button was there. Does this have a tooltip? It does, but it should probably have a tooltip. Maybe this would be helped by having a better tooltip, i.e. one that pops up immediately. Changing UI scale and I see the green box outside of the map, like I'm out of the map. I can't even see the whole map anymore. Most of the top left is blank green. Yeah, part of what's happening, at least I think what's happening for you, is when you increase the scale, it's increasing the size of the game window. And depending on the resolution of your monitor, like mine, for example, I can see the whole map and more when I'm fully zoomed out because of how many pixels just fit inside this window. And that's why, like, okay, this indicates I should probably have a larger scale setting here. And now I can't anymore. Now I have enough to scroll here. I think we can make this better for sure. Let me look at Galrosh's picture. I click start button. Doing the sound, but no battle. I wonder how that would be possible. You don't have any battle windows on your screen. You have the shop. Huh. Can you try something, Galrosh? Can you try moving the mage? Just click them so they go into the available adventures and then click them again so they go back into battle and then try starting? If that doesn't help, I want you to try something else after that. But I'm curious if that works. Yeah, the buttons for the stuff needs to be made clear, yeah. Still not working. Okay, the next thing I want you to try is can you press escape and go to save and then load? So just save and then load the game and see if that fixes it. I gotta write this down. Galrosh got stuck in a state where they couldn't start a battle. No battle windows are open already. The button is making a sound, so it's definitely being clicked. Moving the mage out of the party and back in didn't fix it. It deleted everything in your town. Wait, that's a like a massive issue. Hold on. When you say everything, what do you mean? Can you take a picture of your like zoomed out town? And Kuro, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because a picture there would definitely be good. Ask them to save/load. Here's a video. 10 FPS by accident. Yeah, I trust that this is just being slow. Wait, are you talking about starting a battle? Because oh, I see. There's like a lag as soon as you click the button. That is very bizarre. Oh, and then the end of battle lags too. This is This is something strange. Nui, can you try something? Can you launch the game from a terminal and see if there are any errors printing out for you? Because that's quite bizarre. This one should go here. Lots of lag at the end of a battle. And then Galrosh has a new picture there. Let me take a look. Okay. Galrosh, I need you to do something. Can you close the game like right now? I want to make sure it doesn't autosave over this. And then can you share your save file with me? Save.json. Why is it claiming it's a mobile game? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know why I would do that. Maybe just enough people search for it with mobile or something. I'm not concerned for right now. This is really bad. I think a lot of this stuff is going to be tough because I don't exactly know what's happening. And it's like this item thing that Freak Technic found. Maybe it's caused by this race condition of clicking an item as soon as a worker takes the item. But maybe it's not, and it just looked like a coincidence, in which case we'd be back to square one. When I zoom in on an item drop from the portal, I'd like to be able to drag it to the item display by dragging the potion onto it. Or you didn't want to do it intentionally. Maybe I'm not playing a lot of these games. When I zoom in on an item drop from the portal, I'd like to be able to drag it to the item display. You should be able to do that right now. Like if I zoom in on something, I can drag and then I can just pan the camera and drop it somewhere. Oh, that's a bug. Oh my God. So much that's wrong. This would mean that it didn't rebake the navigation mesh correctly. I don't know how that could have happened though. My potion shop has a nav mesh problem. Where do you want me to share it? Anywhere that's convenient for you. A Pastebin, Google, or sorry, not Google, GitHub and a gist, Discord as just a file attachment. Anything is fine, whatever you prefer. All right, I didn't see any errors in the console. I did use grant most things, so maybe that's what broke it. You know what I mean? Like not manually moving my camera, but like it auto scrolls to the side I want. Oh, what you want is that when there's an item on your cursor, that just moving the mouse to the edge will scroll it for you. Because if so, that is yes. Okay, yeah, that's a known feature request that people have had. I'll write that down somewhere. Auto pan, I guess. Yeah, here. Panning camera when touching the edges. Shoe Strikers wants this. Yeah, added me on Discord. Okay, let me take a look. Oh, you can just send a message. I mean, I'll accept it anyway, but yeah. I don't think you need to be a friend with to send me a message. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now let's download this and let's open this. Whoops. All right, so here's the save file. We're going to save this over my save file. Git cd home downloads cp the save file into that. Oh. When I save, close the game, start and load, tooltips on the battle map seem to reset. They no longer say what the rewards are. Ah, that is a good thing to point out. Thank you, Ayamari. That sounds like just a normal bug that we could fix. Okay, they sent their save file. Let's see if this is reproing for me then. We're just going to launch their save file. It does load for me. This seems to imply then that there is a bug that happened, Galrosh. Yeah, that's definitely what this points to. And it loaded for me. So it means that their game was in a bad state somehow. Oh man, can you remember anything else that you had done? And it's not like it's your fault or anything, but when you were in this state and you couldn't start a battle, there was already some error that must have happened. But I wonder what could have caused that. It was before I upgraded the portal. No, you had upgraded the portal. Oh wait, are you saying that the bug happened and then you upgraded the portal in order to see if you could fix it? I tried upgrading it, didn't do anything. Wait, the upgrade. You have upgraded the portal, just to be clear, because you have the second location. That's white. So it's not clear to me. Maybe you upgraded, thought it didn't work, and then you were in this buggy state. The game is in a bad state somehow. Yeah, I just don't know what would have caused that. And which operating system are you on, Galrosh? Oakley, it's the only thing I have is the today command that talks about that. I was in the bug state and I just tried to upgrade the portal because I thought I was stuck in level 1, Windows 11. Okay, yeah, got you. Thank you. Yeah, let me gift out some points here too. Sorry, I should be doing this more. I'm gonna give this to a couple of people who've been helping out here. They're on Windows 11. Thank you, Unknown, for the resub, for the happy checkpoint launch day. Like every checkpoint, it is covered in bugs. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, some of them aren't so bad. Like, let's say we just disabled all the scale controls in the game. Then, you know, at least half of this conversation would probably disappear. But yeah, other ones are very spooky. Is anyone else running into that problem that I was seeing where characters were just getting stuck on item displays? Because that's a huge problem. Tim, welcome in. Hello, Tim's viewers. We just launched checkpoint 0.5, or checkpoint 5, I guess, of the game that I've been working on for like the last year, and it is playable now. We are being swarmed by bugs. How is your stream, Tim? Hey, Jost, welcome in. I unlocked auto battle. That's a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't want to do too much hand holding in the beginning. Monadic Bind was talking about this earlier. Like, should the game tell you that auto battling is available and that you can purchase it? And I think enough things in the UI will eventually steer you there. And, excuse me, at some point you might seek it out knowing that it exists in the game. Because eventually you'll purchase the game, so you'll know enough about it. If you close the game, does it save? It saves every 5 minutes. It does not save on closing as far as I know. So you'd have to manually hit save. But if you didn't manually hit save, then you'd lose at most 5 minutes of progress. We pressed the review demo page button on Steam, so waiting for news on that. Nice. Congrats. And thank you, Alibi. Losing a battle, a tooltip for health has a weird big lowercase not. Oh, I think that's italicized text that now in the new font doesn't look good. Let me take a look at that. Create instance and lose. Tooltip for health. What are you? Oh, you have stats showing. Yes. Thank you. That is very good. Thank you. Yeah, there is another place where that happens. This is on the battle stats. Yeah. On the battle stats. And it says what exactly? Not your summons. Not your summons. There's one other place where this shows up, I think, and I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. There's no other italic text, is there? No. It's also in cloning. This same bug is in cloning. You are the skeleton. It's less egregious there because that text is temporary, but it wasn't temporary in the battle thing. Show stats is disabled for it. Yeah, but you just fought a boss. And it always shows when you fight a boss. That way you have more information on how to beat them again. Thoughts on the option to select auto battle before the end of battle. Yeah, I think several people have wanted something like this, and I just need to figure out how would we set that up. But yeah, I guess we'll write this in like a suggestion section. Maybe there was another suggestion here for an idea that I said that's not too bad. Who typed it? Nine did. Yeah, here. Suggestions. Clicking characters. I love a checkbox in the portal map to initialize with auto battle at that point. Yeah, a couple of people, like I said, have talked about this, and I think it's a reasonable enough thing to add. I think I'd probably put it on the battle window in case you start anyway. Click to escape and can't even see the menu anymore, which means I have to close the game so I can't save. Oh, if you wait long enough, it'll auto save. But probably in the last 5 minutes, there hasn't been so much progress because you asked the question 3 minutes ago. So now you would have lost, what, 2 minutes of gameplay, I guess. I do recognize there's a problem with the scale and everything. And you might need to fix that by going into your save file and fixing it there. Oh yeah, the arrow keys might move. And you can also zoom out with your minus and plus, I think, zoom. Playing with the touchscreen works surprisingly well. Just zoom and opening the pause menu. Need the on-screen keyboard or custom controller mappings. Zoom and opening the pause menu. I see what you mean. Interesting. Do we have anything about touchscreens here? I'll just edit this. From checkpoint 5. Yeah, thank you, Blob. Oh, man. There's so much. I wonder if it's worth trying to fix some of these things now. Also, I never actually made it through the rest of the questions, right? I want to read these at least quickly. So let's take a look. Questions. Do you feel like there's enough to do? Like I said, for now there is for the demo. Enough tension with the gameplay. I think we still need more systems. Does it feel like your decisions matter? I think we're still going to get this feedback, but possibly less so. There's less of the game being on rails and more of it just being like, yeah, if you want to spend your money on something, then just save up for it and you can get it. Progression, these questions. What is this? Should the enchanter be unlocked after the first boss? Should the enchanter be changed? The enchanter was changed now. Each phase interesting. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna keep that there. Is the game feel too on rails? Battle system. Anything clear about the ideal party size? I think I'm gonna delete this. Yeah. These are pretty much always expected to have adventures at the highest possible level. It may mean people get stuck on bosses. Do we need some way to provide an extra edge? We did this already. More plays figuring out how to beat bosses. We added in the hint system. I think it's fine for now. You apply the same battle strategy to every boss. Yeah, that we only have 2 bosses. So I'm going to keep that question there. Because that'll be important for the future. The enchantment system seemed to work well. This is now the spell system. And delete that too. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. Hey, level 0 loops. Welcome in. And hey, Appressel. Have we received 700,000 downloads yet? No. Oh, also, one of the other things that I wanted to share is the wishlist count. I think we got 4 yesterday. Yeah, we're 495. Hooray. 495 on today. Yeah, it turns out there is a chart there. And there also is a regional breakdown. I didn't realize either of those things were there. So if I click all history, you can actually see how this has been changing. Here's the full graph. And I guess the very first day it got to 45. And it's been kind of steadily increasing. I mean, this is linear growth, not exponential or anything, unless you count maybe this end bit. Maybe if that trend keeps up, it will be a higher slope. Did add it to the wish list today. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it definitely helps a lot. It'll give me more visibility in the upcoming Steam festivals. So just adding icons next to each menu option. Battle map adventures higher. Takes me a while to find the proper option each time. Yeah, I think we got to do that. People have been talking about that. And I think that would be a good idea. We might actually have something about that somewhere. Improve town menu. Yeah. I guess we'll just put this up here. Improve the town menu. What was that chart I zoned for a moment? That was the wish list chart. Where'd that go? Here. Yeah, so wish list for Skeleseller. If you go to Steam Works and click wish list, you can find it through there. And I was saying it's been going up pretty linearly up until maybe this end bit. I started talking about it a lot more. So since the end of December, it was at 377, and now we're at 495. Yeah. We can share these screens. I mean, I don't think there's anything preventing us from doing that. I think a very long time ago, Twitch had some verbiage about not sharing some revenue split or something, and I think they got rid of that at some point. I don't think Valve would care, and I think it's something that would have stood out to me in the terms of service, but possibly I'm violating a terms of service by doing this. I built the Explorer's Hut, and upon clicking the character, the window popped up like super zoomed in. Yeah, that's a bug. All right, so I looked through some of the questions. I don't think that's a big deal. The checkpoint being closed out. This actually, we just need to blanket move all of these things to like Steam Festival prep. I have another maybe like 6 work days that I can work on this stuff. And then I'm going to be taking my vacation, and then it's pretty much the first festival. So in those 6 work days, we've just got to make sure we've tackled the highest tasks, the highest priority tasks. And I'm going to try not to do too much over the weekend because I really have been working too much. But yeah. Possible to move the battle window. Oh, this is a suggestion. We got to move that. There we go. I don't think Valve cares. I think a lawyer could plausibly fight it being public info. I do believe it falls under the NDA. I will definitely have to look into that. See if I can share wish list, the wish list page on stream. Because yeah, if I do find out it's against that, I will certainly stop. Okay, checkpoint. We got to go make a new one. Whoops, not new issue. New milestone. Not there either. How do you do this? New milestone. Okay, festival prep. Due date is the 24th. Idler Fest is on February 3rd, but I'm just looking at that festival as a bonus for wishlist, not as a crucial thing to prepare for. And next fest is on February 24th. All right, so that's a milestone. We're going to move everything that's in checkpoint 5 over to that new milestone and then close this out. Milestone festival prep. Is it going to finish? I see a loading bar. There it goes. Okay, now I think we just close this entire milestone. Edit, close. All right. So now we're on the festival prep milestone. Let's paste that in here. Get ready for the Steam festivals. Steam prep. This is just an issue. Milestone issue. Copy. Both are private links. Figure out what we need to do before launching the game. After that, after the festivals. So much work. I really should be in celebration mode and not in panic about the future mode. Launch checkpoint 5, lots of bugs and feedback, which was to be expected. Celebrate the wins, celebrate the operating systems. Yeah, I will say the few sort of obvious wins that we have here, people are excited enough to try this and willing to participate in everything. I think that's good. Wish lists have been increasing. The game is getting better. Sure, there's still some bugs, but the kind of bugs we're talking about now are very different from the kinds of bugs that we talked about 4 or 5 months ago. And in general, the way that this panned out is a while ago, people were like, I can't play the game. And now a lot of these are like, the game would be better with, you know, some feature or suggestion or something like that. And we're still getting some of this right now through the scale issues and stuff, but it's not like, oh, the font is blurry or there's no clear way in the game to do this. I hope that, assuming that the game is performant for you and you figured out the scale issue that you might have, that probably most people are like, okay, I generally get what's next. I'm figuring out the game and learning how to play and hopefully having fun. Despite the game being in English, numbers use comma instead of dot. System is set to German. Yeah, it uses your local number setting for that. Is that bizarre for you, Nui? Because that's an intentional choice right now. Obviously, we should try to have the game be in other languages, but until then, yeah, using something like 0.2%, I think would feel more natural to you. What about a feature to be able to move the battle window? WMs. This is the second time someone's brought that up today, so let me write that down too. Moving battle windows. So Thomas and you have both mentioned this. For some more context, is it that it's blocking something? No, not. I don't care about that actually. Is it? Do you have a wide monitor, like an ultra wide monitor? I think Thomas shared their resolution somewhere. Let me take a look. Resolution. No, but this does not look ultra wide to me. So much better select adventures on the battles and a lot of other improvements. Yeah, a lot of those things got better. US English has some stupid language formats. Well, I take offense to that. I like my decimal points. It's not a problem for me, but I'd have expected it to use the current game language locale. So English text uses English numbers. I see. I think I won't write this down if you say it's not a problem for you. I think if this were jarring in some way, well, more, not jarring. I guess it was a little jarring. But it's the kind of thing I guess you get used to pretty quickly. Okay. I need to try clicking around more, but for now, I just don't have the energy to keep playing. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, thank you, Shoe Strikers. And like I said, if you plan on coming back to it in the future, you don't need to provide feedback now, of course, and you have no energy, so you shouldn't do it now, regardless. But at some point in the future, I'd like if you could click this button and fill out the form. And that goes for everybody, by the way. I think this is the biggest thing that helps. Obviously, sharing the feedback somewhere is important. It doesn't matter that it's through that form. It's still just going to me. But knowing what your feedback is, that's what's super important. I see the whole town, then zoomed out and battle position, for example, in the top right. Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, I'll write this down. I think what I generally considered for battle windows, so something to keep in mind, maybe you've realized this, maybe you haven't yet. You can have more than one battle window. So if I do this, this is the highest number of battle windows you can have. It's also probably going to break because now the mage is in 3 different battles. But if your window is too small, you can pan them on the screen or you can scroll them to move between them. So if we allow you to move them, we either need to allow you to move them all at once, or we need to let you like break out of this setting of having 3 next to each other. And that's what concerns me a little bit about this feature. Wait, I can have 3 battles at once? Yeah, after playing for 15 minutes, I think a tip pops up and tells you that. Do you need more testers on wide monitors? So the answer is yes, but the answer is yes because we can delete these 3 words. So yeah, it'd be helpful if you play the game. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. So it's not like we absolutely need wide monitor testing, and if that urgency was what convinced you to play. So there's no urgency. I think we do have enough testers, but yeah, it was more like, what are your preferences being a wide monitor user? Does it work on Steam Deck? I'm not actually sure. So there's nothing technical for why it wouldn't work. It might not feel as good because you wouldn't be able to use the controls. You just have the touch screen and the touch pads. So it does not have controller support. I'll test when I get home. Yeah, I think you would need to boot in a Linux mode, and then it's still a touch screen, so it should work. Does it run Doom? It does, yeah. If you zoom in on the skeleton's bones, you'll see Doom playing on the Humorous. All right, yeah, moving battle windows. I don't know how we would accomplish this. What I originally thought is right now, if you consider that your monitor is, I'm going to draw a stupid box here. All right, so let's say you have this, and then you have like battle 1, battle 2, battle 3 here. Yeah, there's my beautiful image. So what I was thinking is on an ultra wide monitor where this whole thing is, that did not work. Okay, that this whole thing is extra wide. I was thinking that maybe we arrange the battles vertically. So it'd be like B1 here, B2 here, and then B3. And there'd just be a toggle for that. I mean, I laid this out kind of stupidly because I'm just trying to diagram this quickly, but I was not thinking of letting you just drag a window wherever you want it to be. But I don't I don't think that would help the 2 people who requested this. Actually, no, let me ask you, Double Yums, does knowing that you can have multiple battle windows change your request at all? Window tab for each battle so you don't get sound from every battle if it gets too much. I know what you're saying. The way that I'd plan on people addressing this now is if you click show all sound controls, you can actually just modify battle sounds down. I know what you're getting at is, what if I only want them for 1 battle? But I'm not sure how many people will be in that situation. Is there any reason why it doesn't appear in the itch.io autocomplete? I have to hit enter and click the only result. It might be because I didn't have it listed in the search results earlier today. Maybe that'll just kind of fix itself. Skeleseller. I'm not sure. I'll ask Leaf about that later today. Maybe this is because I had it unlisted like 90 minutes ago. If your mouse is in the region of the battle, the sounds play for only that battle. So I want to be careful here because I don't know if we're brainstorming potential problems and then coming up with solutions for them, or if people are actually having these problems right now. Because in my head, and this is not possibly how reality is, but in my head, people will either want battle sounds or they won't. So being able to toggle them is fine. I can't imagine that you've been playing the game for like 2 hours and you're like, I want to hear this one. So you hover over it. I don't think that would be intuitive. I don't think people would even want that. And if people do want that, that's a good solution for it. but I want to make sure we're actually addressing problems that people have. So yeah, if you feel like you're in that boat already where you're like, there are 3 battles, but I only want sounds for one of them, then yeah, definitely let me know. And that way I know it's not hypothetical. But if you're like, yeah, you know what, just yeah, turning them all off is actually fine with me, then yeah, I wouldn't actually want to do anything about that. I noticed that it's on power save. Setting it to max performance removes a lag and opening battle window, but still retains it on battle 1. Huh. That is certainly good to know, and thank you for following up on that. I still don't think there's too much we can do here, because the kinds of things that are causing this to lag are not things that are doing any, like they're not doing a lot of work. But on winning a battle, maybe there is slightly more that's happening and that it's creating the end battle screen. We could like pool scenes or something. Still not sure. Is it me or can't you zoom in on the battle window? You cannot zoom in on the battle window, no. I was thinking of maybe adding in some like maximize one window. Would you want that, Kappa? Or would you want, like, do you mind filling in a little bit more context of what you want out of this? And then feedback with no action. I'll copy what you said here, human puppet. Was more thinking if seeing all the battles at the same time is of interest. Like otherwise you can only have one window, have many tabs. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. And I think that would allow you to move it around, but then it does change the game a little bit. Like I wanted the battles to be front and center. Also, when people are playing the game and they're streaming it, maybe I thought it could be good to do that. Because otherwise, I think what would happen is you would have battles, like let's say all these are stacked on top of each other, and you can only see the first one. Your other battles might be playing, but I just don't think you'd care about them at all anymore because they'd be out of sight, out of mind. It's a bit small on 4K. Zooming or being able to full screen one battle window would be great. Okay, gotcha. And what game scale are you playing on, Kappa? 1x? Okay, yeah. Played all the checkpoints and probably won't max out this 5th one before the actual release. So the question is, what exactly do you want feedback on currently? Because as you said, there aren't many gameplay changes because the UI, at least from watching the stream, looks very good. The general feedback I'm looking for here is from new players trying the game without having, I guess, seen too much on the stream, maybe. Or even if you've seen a lot on the stream, it's pretty much the new players part, though. I think this is the operative bit here. And the reason why is, if you think about it, when this game eventually launches and you can pay whatever, $10 or something on Steam, the majority of the people who play the game are going to be new players. There are going to be maybe some low number of hundreds who come from the stream and who've already seen the game and played a demo or something. But it's probably not going to be like, oh man, 5,000 people played the demo and now there are 7,000 sales. I think it's going to be like, 1% or 10% or something have played the demo. As a result, that's why it kind of it matters a little bit more to hear what those people think. Now, if you did want to play the game, the only thing I think as a returning player that would be important to get feedback on would be the new enchanter. That's the biggest change to a system. There are other changes as well. I think namely being that you no longer manually upgrade your adventurers. So I'd be curious how that feels too, but it's not worth you playing again for another hour or two. Because like I said, the content didn't drastically change. There's a whole host of other UX problems. What if a battle window is covering the tip? What do you don't see the slime? They upgrade from beating elite monsters. So if you hover over this, it says increase your rank by defeating elite enemies. Might still give it a quick check. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing too is you can unlock auto battling sooner. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could like start the game now and then just come back in an hour. You'd probably be at max gold, spend money on a couple of perks, then just auto battle again, come back in another hour. So your gameplay time that you're actually there for would be pretty low. Also the secret 1001. Oh yeah, that's pretty minor though. This thing, end of demo reward. I just added that this morning. This costs 1,001 gold and gives you 4 skill points for all of your adventures. I've at least heard of this meme. Although I don't watch TikTok or anything. Is your game in early access? Hey, Professor, it's not in early access exactly. It's playable for free. There's a demo right now that people can go try out. It is an alpha version. Essentially, that's kind of what people might take to mean early access, but to me, early access means like Steam's specific thing. What are these notifications? They're now live. No, we posted new version day. Oh man. I might as well respond to this. When the slime is near the right edge of the screen and you drag an item to it, you can't see how much it'll sell for. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We could try to make sure this stays on the screen. Actually, it doesn't even need to be zoomed. Why did I even put this in camera space? This just shouldn't be in camera space. I'll write that down. Thank you, Nui. It just shouldn't be in camera space. Can we log errors to a file or something? We should probably... We log errors to a file. Just blanket redirect all standard error to a log file that we can instruct users to upload. It may also need standard out with some log of their actions, or else it'll be hard to figure out what happened, what led to something. Yeah. Let me close 1,000,000 of these tabs that we have. What else do we have open? That's it. Fired it up, and top and bottom were cut off on widescreen. Switching to 1x without any of the window options fixes that. What is your resolution, you said? 30, hang on, I can just scroll up. 1440, yeah, that's why. Okay, yeah. I will write this down. Yeah, this is our auto scaling thing that we had. Where is that? Here it is. Yeah, I know exactly what's causing this. I'm just not sure what we're going to do about it quite yet. Hey, Don. Thank you. Happy Friday. And thank you too, Professor. I just let the game run in the background of the auto battle and I got the following terminal message. Found the key outside the animation range. Consider using cleanup and animation track editor. That's bizarre. Is there any other information there? It's just this one line? There's no next best command, but I can go make this. Next best. Entirely interesting. Just zoomed. Yes, having logging on remote desktop clients is a critical feature. We can survive it. Yeah. Default is 2. We just changed that recently. Only those 2 lines. Okay. Drat. Did you notice any issue in the game? Because it's possible this is just an error that doesn't really have any impact. No other lines besides that one. Found the key outside the animation range. Oh, by the way, Nui, which characters are you auto battling with? And where are you auto battling? Like how many battles? What are the characters? Because that stuff would help to know. Because then I can just repro this and put it on like 8x speed and see if it happens for me too. Game looks fine at the moment. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's any fallout from that issue. The mage and the other character on the first battle level. Gotcha. Auto battling with mage and rogue in the forest. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if we just ran that now, what it would look like. Let's just go back to the title screen. New game. Unlock all adventurers. Oh, wait, are they both in one battle or are they in two different battles? Give ourselves auto battle here. Speed up, flee, and auto battle. Okay. Now let's clear the console because these are all just warnings about UIDs. And there we go. Both in one battle, yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Nui. I appreciate it. It's a little bit annoying that clicking on quest button by mistake makes the camera slowly roll the quest building and you can't stop it. I'll write that down. Kind of funny, but yeah, we could just make it so that you can control the camera on top of whatever's automatically happening. What's better, insane battle or different battle when first starting? I kind of want to leave this to players to figure out. My assumption is that having them in different battles is probably better, but I don't know that to be true. Earlier, I also got the following messages, but not sure when. Attempt to disconnect a non-existent connection from root. Focus entered. Interesting. All right, let me give you a point, Nui. Cool feature would be total battle time output after you completed a battle. Total battle time. I think we do that already. You just need to turn it on in settings, show stats on the battle results screen, and then at the end of any battle, you should see duration at the bottom left. Is that what you're talking about? I3WM with X11 if it matters. I'll put that there. I don't think it matters, but it might. That does help. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, this is something that maybe we should make clearer somehow. Chris, I want to ask you a question, and I'm this might sound bad, but I don't mean it in a bad way. What would have made you look in the settings menu for that? Like, if the game had fully launched, would you think, okay, it's fully launched, so they must have thought of this? Or I think it should be an initial setup screen. Like, what do you prefer to turn on and off? I don't think you'll know what you prefer at the very beginning of the game, though. I think the kinds of things to have initial screens for are things like what's your character name, what level of difficulty do you want the game to be, any visibility things like what's the screen gamma or captions and stuff. I think those things all make sense at the beginning. I think any game option like should you show your cloak in the game or should it be hidden? Those are things that you might be like, I'm not really sure yet. So I think the game leading you through those would probably not be a good idea because there are going to be a bunch of people who are just like, I don't even understand what option or if I like the game. Hey, you can turn on stats if you want. Yeah, I think having a tip would be good. Hey, Smack, we're just mostly celebrating the launch at this point. But yeah, do check the today command and hey, develop it. That you're supposed to add as much friction as possible. Well, okay, so let me write this down because what is on my clipboard? Yeah. So I will say Chris AOW wanted to see battle stats, but didn't look in the settings menu on their own. Maybe we should have a tip about this if you've been playing for long enough and haven't toggled the setting. Yeah. Why is show loot default on but not show stats? The loot, I think, is to clarify what a bunch of people were confused by, which is like how many items are you getting from each battle. The stats were more like almost like a power user thing. At the beginning of the game, you might not care about these things. And I thought, let's hide them by default. They do automatically show up in boss battles regardless of what your setting is. So even if you turn this off and you do a boss battle, you will see the stats. So that was kind of the middle ground. Because otherwise, I didn't want to overload people. I didn't want there to be too much to read. It'd be nice if you can toggle auto battle during a battle so you don't need to wait. Yeah, yep. I agree. I think a bunch of people have talked about this now, which means it's probably worth doing. Where did we write that? Ah, here it is. This shouldn't have been in there. I don't know why that was there. Toggling auto battle mid-fight. Or not mid-fight necessarily, but without having to wait for a finished battle. I think it's such an inconsequential thing. It should be default on. I don't think it limits the experience. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could have some like sort of just a duration stat and then maybe the extended stats or something you have a setting for. The thing that steered me toward hiding this is Funky Monkey tried the game and said, okay, there's a lot of information here and I don't really care about this stuff. Why not hide it for most players? And if they want it, they can turn it on via a setting. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff we sort of have to show here. The result of the battle, who was actually in the battle in case you want to edit your party, a repeat button, and then any loot you got. I think that's stuff that's very important. So then these stats just seem like the least important of all of that. And it's just more to parse as you're looking through this UI. You know what we could do? I have an idea. Maybe this is a town perk that people unlock for really cheap. That way they know that there's a setting for it. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. It'd be nice to start a battle even if some adventurers are currently fighting to park it for when other battles end. Okay, so this is really risky because this is going to cause some things that I think most people wouldn't expect, right? You have your rogue and your mage fighting, and then you start a new battle with the rogue and mage. And then you start another new battle with the rogue and archer. So now they get done with this, and then they go into the new battle, but now you start auto battle on this one, and then you finally turn it off, and then it starts a new battle after that. I think it'd be like a weird cascading queue that would confuse people. So I think just having to wait for it isn't too bad. Alternatively, it could say something like, yeah, maybe, oh, hey, your archer is currently battling. I'm not sure. Like, there's probably some way to improve the user experience, but I don't think it would be queuing up the battles. And actually, even when your characters are battling right now, I think it does gray them out. Yeah. Yeah. Nice to know how many adventurers that you can select for that battle instead of the error message when you exceed. You can hover over to see what each place allows, but they're all 6 except for the bosses, which is why I didn't like put it in your face. But yeah, maybe in Battle Party, we could put the max number. Yeah, I'll write it as a consideration at least. Maybe next to Battle Party, we show something like 1/6. Yeah. Went to see my old work. Things have changed so much in a year. Do you recognize all the people still? I think a tooltip or something when hovering over the disabled start battle button would be nice. I just wonder why I couldn't start one. Yeah, that's a good call. We could just show the same error that we show in the other part of the UI. It would be nice to see the item names on the tooltip. I don't know all the names, so the icon is not that clear. Let me ask you it the other way around, Kappa. How would you feel if on the quest board, it only showed what it currently shows? So you see something like this, but on the map, it shows you icons as well. So it's a reward and you'd see the same picture. Because that's question number 1. I actually have a second question. And the second question is, what if hovering over this would tell you the name and where it's found? So it'd say something like, you find this in the forest and the canyon, and that's it. So it just tells you the locations where you find it. Changing the scale in the main menu, it doesn't correctly scale back. I changed it from 1 to 2. So Puelo, what's happening, and yes, this is a known issue, is it's changing the scale, but it's not changing the window size. So if you're on Windows, for example, if you just press like Windows key left, it should just make it take half the screen, and that should sort of fix everything for you. And if you're on Linux or Mac, then presumably you know how you do the equivalent. Hey, Campbell Soup. Congrats on getting done through all the meetings. Some old faces, some new faces. Everyone's getting older, retiring soon. Yeah, I was going to say a year wouldn't be long enough for people to look so drastically older. But the retiring soon and people changing, yeah, that's definitely true. Better polish, though, for accessibility, you probably want both. Yeah, I think it's worth changing this around. I think we should say which locations you get the items from in the quest board itself, which means it needs mouse events again. By the way, I remembered something while I was playing and thought I'd mention it. When I was on my adventures, I had no idea how to use skill points. I didn't realize I needed to scroll down to see the skills I could upgrade, and I missed the scroll bar. Be helpful if there's an arrow or some kind of indicator. I think we need to shrink that UI in general, but I'll write that down too. I guess I'll write this down in like the other feedbacks. Yeah, thank you. By the way, thank you for reporting some of these. I'm going to try to give points out to the people that I've remembered at least, but I might be forgetting some people. Changing from full screen to borderless fixes it too. Yeah. Yeah, we got to address the scale issues for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's look at the feedback and see if any of that's been funneling in yet. I don't even know how to find this because it's not showing up my autocomplete. There it is. We've gotten 2 responses. Yeah. There was a neutral and an agree in here. Have you played Skeleseller before? No. How'd you find out about it? Through me. Wouldn't pay even though I liked it. Okay, let me look at the long form answers here. I do like it. As I said in the stream, there's sprite bleeding, and I feel maybe at least for me, as I usually play fast-paced games, the start is kind of slowish, but I really like the game. I can see myself buying it. And then, what is? Oh, I see. I have it in dark mode, and there's something weird going on here in Google Forms. Because just help to testing in Linux version before game start. When clicking the game settings in window mode, change the game scale. Save the setting doesn't show up. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, no an issue. So it's good that we at least have that there. Take a look at this. Okay, cool. Just making sure I've got all this stuff written down. Is there going to be a way to have adventurer priority when battling? Prioritize lowest health, prioritize highest health enemy? No, that's not planned. There are some skills that have that baked in, and that's part of what I want people to think about when they're doing this. Like quick strike, or sorry, rogue has quick strike, and quick strike always targets the lowest health enemy. The witch doctor has zombies, and the zombies always target the highest health enemy. So these are things that are baked into the adventures, and I'd rather have people think about sort of what combinations make sense for a battle. And even then, just for really boss battles is all that matters for. Higher adventures top left doesn't show a delayed tooltip unlike the other buttons. Yeah, that is known. Those also shouldn't even be the delayed tooltips. They should just be regular tooltips. Maybe we add tooltips just for consistency. Maybe it mentions when they, whoops, why they would turn green when they do. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I cannot believe it's been 2.5 hours. I don't even think I took a break yesterday at all. Well, maybe I did. But yeah, I'll be back in just a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. again, close the game. Okay, just scroll through chat, did not miss any feedback. So, did anyone else have the corrupted buttons problem? Like 3 people commented on it at the beginning, but then I didn't hear anyone else talk about it. Does anyone's game look like this? Still don't know. Oh wait, no, did Maharaja ever come back? I have it on the Legion Go, which uses an AMD GPU. I think no corruption so far. Okay, let me write this down. Blub, are you on up-to-date graphics drivers? I'm just still not sure how this could be happening. Yes, and Windows 11. Strange. They are on updated graphics drivers. Win 11. Bit over spec. No corruption though. Yeah, so far, 3 people mentioned having an AMD GPU, and 1 person mentioned having a MacBook Pro. But it's only hit a few people. I wonder if there's an AMD GPU texture bug. It's going to take a long time to find it because there's so many open issues. Let's texture rendering. And it might be a fixed issue, in which case there are 3 times as many. And it's not even an AMD GPU problem, so I don't know why I searched for that. Am I a wizard? I'm glad you're reading that text. I hope you've chuckled at least one of the things that they said. Yeah, these buttons don't even have shaders or anything, so I don't know. I'll need to look into this. Bonafide good puns. Yeah, let's fix a couple of quick things just to get them off the list. Let's close out all these tabs. I'm not even probably going to upload new builds. I just don't want to track this anymore. Oh my goodness, we have so many tabs open. Okay. This we can check in. This is fine. Add a note in releasing.md. I'll say clarify release notes. Release readme documentation. There. We got there. All right, that was not important though. The important thing was wherever we use italics, we've got to be very careful about this. We can use bold. Bold will work, although it's not the correct way to stylize this. I don't think having an italicized font is worth it though. Let's just take a look at this and see if it looks stupid. Can only battle in 2 battles at a time in the same location. TJ, how many adventurers do you have? If you pick a potion up off the ground and click an occupied sales display, you get 1 potion in hand. If you then click another sales stand, that means you destroyed 1 potion. Click an occupied sales display, you get 1 potion in hand. If you then click another sales stand, it means you destroyed a potion. I don't think that should be the case. Let me take a look at this really fast. So click potion, click an occupied one. I think it's just the potion on the ground is still now on the ground. It shouldn't be deleting it. I think it'd be more obvious if you click a different color potion, maybe. Like put a red potion here and click a black potion and put it over here. Yeah, so the black potion's still on the ground. Now put it down on a stand. I mean, the black potion's still there. I think this is working as intended. I think it's just a little weird in that it overwrites what's selected. Yeah, it should be working fine. Pick up from ground, click occupied, click unoccupied. Okay, let me try that. pick up from ground, click occupied, click unoccupied. Yeah, the potion on the ground is still on the ground now. Like I said, I think it's a little bit clearer when you're using two different colored potions, which you wouldn't have an easy way of doing in the game. But like here we have an occupied thing. I'm using a blue potion from the ground. I click the yellow one. Then I click the unoccupied one. The blue potion's still there and the yellow one's still over here. With that said, I'm not saying it's not violating expectations a little bit, but you're not deleting an item for sure. It throws it back near the portal. It puts it wherever the item was originally. So if you were dragging it and you're on your way over to this and you click the occupied one, it's just where it started still. So it'll still just be on the ground. Take care, Freak Technic. Thank you very much for the feedback and for trying the game. I see I have the same adventure in two separate battle windows. Yeah. So I think that should address your problem, TJ. So open the game on my desktop. I can see the line above the skeleton head. Yeah, that is the sprite bleeding issue, and that is known. Yeah. I wonder what we should do about what Godik is saying. Not sure what we would do. I'll just write it down for now. Godik seemed a bit confused by having an item in hand and clicking an occupied shop display. He thought it deleted the first item, but it just puts it back where it came from. Not sure what to do here. Yeah, maybe an animation of the item flying back to where it started could be good. Is there a way to toggle the type of rewards a certain level within the portal gives? I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but I'm not totally sure what you're asking. So let's say you have gotten to here and you've won this battle before. So now on the map, it's going to show what your rewards could be. Are you saying you want to only get boots or something? Simply never removes the one picked up. Okay, yeah, I guess that's the other thing. Maybe dropping it near the new one could make it. I'll need to think about that. Yeah. Hey, Clonk, thank you. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. We did not actually look at this in the game. Let's go take a look. We just show stats and go back to here. Yeah, that's fine. I think mostly using bold instead of italics could be okay. In fact, if we search for it this way, we'll only find the italic stuff and not when we're indexing an array or a list by I. So yeah, let's make this bold as well. This is italicized and probably doesn't look super out of place. But it is a different font though. I wonder if we just made it parenthetical text. So we did something like this. Beat once to reveal rewards. And then try that out. Busy, busy, busy. Yeah, same. Man, super busy. I've just been working on Skeleseller so much. And the Steam festivals are coming up, and I just feel like this amount of work is probably not going to die down anytime soon. I do have a vacation planned. I'm not gonna work on my vacation, but I've got to work pretty much on every day outside of the vacation, I feel. Hey, Captain Anosa, welcome back. And yeah, new update. Yeah, for those who have not heard me say this a million times yet, if you don't want to play the game, totally fine. If you do play the game, I request two things. One is wishlist on Steam. That would be very helpful. You technically don't need to play the game to even do that. There's just a link right there. And the second is provide feedback. So there's a link in the game to just open up a Google form and just fill out a couple of quick questions. Becomes cumbersome to complete a quest that needs blue potions, and I don't remember what each is called. The rewards would be cool if they had a small picture on the item. Okay. So this is an information problem, just to be clear. It's not a functionality problem. So you're like, I want to know where to get these items, but then once you know, it's fine. Or you want a way to get more of that item, maybe? I'm trying to understand. But yes, having icons, I think, would be very good. And I think we need to do that. Where is that? Quest board, we need to see item names. Yeah, I'll copy paste what you said. This and this. Okay. Yes, cool. Okay, gotcha. All right, let me look at the rest of the chat. Quick feedback on progress. I got to the Inferno, enjoyed the game a lot so far, despite it being my third checkpoint. Only now I feel like there's any challenge. All previous levels were easily won no matter what I did. Yeah, the general philosophy of the game is going to be that regular battles are easy and boss battles should be harder. The first one can't be harder because you have no power progression up until that point. And the second one is based on how many quests you did, basically. So Human Puppet, out of curiosity, how many quests had you done by the dragon? If you might not recall. But like, were you doing a lot of quests, I guess? Because quests are the only real way you can increase your power level right now. Is there a problem with italics? Yeah, we don't have an italicized font. And there's no like fake italics in Godot, I think. Do they have that? I think they only support it with a... Create a font variation. If the font has an open type slant variation, change that value. If it doesn't, modify the y-axis value of the transform. Oh, interesting. Maybe we could use this then. Whoa, neat. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Not sure what I was doing quest. Yeah, so maybe 4 before the dragon. Yeah. I balanced the game for having roughly 3 quests done. So any more than that is going to make it easier. And if you've done the most, then it's going to make it kind of no challenge. So this is something I want to write down. I want to keep in mind. But I think this is a very, very difficult problem to solve from a game design perspective, which is I only want boss battles to be hard. But then if you struggle, I want some way for you to make them easier. And right now quests are that way, but quests just give you a blanket power increase. One way we could solve this is by making specific bosses easier. So rather than doing quests for power, you're doing quests to make bosses easier. And that way you fully understand that like, oh, I'm struggling on this fight. Okay, I'll go make that boss easier. So yeah, I'm still not sure. I'm definitely gonna write this down though. Yeah. They had indeed been doing quests. They estimate they had done 4 before the dragon. Every failed attempt could improve your RNG. The only issue with that is you can auto repeat battles. So you would just set it to auto repeat and then guarantee a win, regardless of your strategy or your level or anything else. Yeah. Like the idea of allowing the player to figure out how the boss fight could be easier, even if the quest just does that for them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. Oh, also, itch page doesn't have a description for the game. I need to go over to the Steam page for that. Did I not include one? Yeah, I guess you're right. Thanks for letting me know. And 0. Read this. Now it seems almost too easy with infinite quest. Well, to be clear, the infinite quest thing is not infinite per phase. So, for example, before the ogre, you have 0 quests. That's because the tutorial. But then before the dragon, you have only 5 quests you can do. After the dragon, yes, they're infinite. But that's only because we're in the demo. Eventually, we're going to have some other boss. So now imagine before boss number 3, maybe there are like 4 more quests you can do. So in any given phase, they're finite. And in the final phase, they'll be infinite. After the, I guess, yeah, second to last boss. That way, for the final boss, we can make them pretty tough. And you have to grind for a bit, I guess. Keep accidentally clicking the slime after I feed him. I have to go through his dialogue. Can I get a don't show me again? Dennis, can you expand a little bit more on how you're accidentally clicking? Is it something to do with difficulty dragging the items? Is it like you're trying to pan the camera immediately afterward? Because I want to understand that a little bit better. Because for me, I click and drag and then just let go of the mouse. But maybe you're clicking and then clicking the slime to feed it, and you're accidentally double clicking. We could, I'll write this down. I think we can still try to solve this. Just stop the dialogue from popping up shortly after feeding the slime. I think this will fix it. We just give it like a 1-second delay. But yeah, I am curious how that's happening. I think I'm click and double clicking. Okay, yeah. Zenus thinks they're double clicking when feeding. So then this solution would help you. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Fail after fail, you control how much your RNG improves. You might want to punish the player more for more fails, like double healing time. I need to keep an eye on this. I think this represents a pretty large chunk of feedback. People have always said that they liked the difficulty, and at the end of each checkpoint. So it's just a balance of making sure the characters don't get too powerful. Yeah, I'll have to think about that some more. I think it might help to make the dots in the adventure map slightly larger. I kept clicking on the town one, thinking it was the forest dot. Forest dot kind of blended in more. Yeah, I'll write this down. Thank you. Boss has a bunch of debuffs, and the quest buff gives you a chance to avoid the debuffs. Player can figure out that's the buff they need and feel good. Yeah, I'll need to think about this. The idea of somehow of lowering the difficulty of a specific boss isn't too bad. Maybe that's what the explorer can do. The game can say that there is at least one strategy available to you with a greater than 50% win rate. I don't know. I'm just gonna write this down. This is a dumb idea, but the thing about the game telling you something like this, then they sell you a buff or debuff or lets you have a better chance. Yeah. Is there a reason why it seems my customers always prefer potions and weapons over armor? It's the last thing to sell. You're saying armor is the last thing to sell. There is a reason, and it's a bug. Well, it's not really a bug. It's just a... So this is kind of silly. The way that customers enter town is always through here. And in order to get to anything, they need to pass through your potion shop. By being in the potion shop, they're more likely to want to buy potions. So that's why potions should be more likely to sell. If you're seeing that weapons are more likely than armors, that seems like a coincidence. Because I don't think anything would cause that to happen. But yes, we need to balance that out. And I have an idea for that too. Let me reorient the location of my shops. You know, originally that was a thought that we had, is like, what if you could pick where you're building shops? And then I thought, is this an interesting decision you'd be making? And I don't think it's super interesting. FAQ doesn't answer this. I want to be sure. Would it be okay to record or stream playing? I'd provide a link to the bottom of my feedback. Yeah, sure. That'd be totally fine. Unfortunately, I don't have the game listing on IGDB yet. So if you go on Twitch, you won't find a category for Skeleseller. We need artwork for that. In fact, maybe I should just add the game and not have any artwork yet. I wonder if we can change it at some point in the future. Probably can. Yeah. But yeah, feel free to stream it. Feel free to record it, put it on YouTube, something like that. That's totally fine. And yeah, the VOD would certainly help for me seeing how you play the game. Man, I'm always super torn whenever I get any feedback because the feedback is good. It's super valuable. I have a lot of stuff to do, but now it's like I almost don't want new people seeing the game because I know that I'm going to get the same feedback. And it makes me think like, okay, should I just take the game offline now and be like, all right, we got enough. We can go tackle this. But yeah, I think this just means we got to work pretty hard in the next week. Thank you, Captain Anosa. I mean, you certainly don't have to stream it, but it would be cool. And it'd be cool to see if that helps improve the visibility of the game too. I think seeing the same feedback, we give priority to which items to work on. Yeah, but I think what I mean is consider like checkpoint 4 was November 22nd, and now checkpoint 5 is today. We got enough feedback from checkpoint 4 that I spent 2 months addressing it, minus vacation time. So maybe like 6 weeks, I guess. So getting more feedback lets us know what to prioritize, but I already had a pretty good set of priorities and it took 6 weeks to get through them. So now we just got a bunch of feedback today. I can't get this done in like 2 days. So I need to come up with what's the most important stuff in the next week from all of what we've seen so far. Just keep the stats of what feedback gets reported the most. Yeah. Because people want to be nice and help you, but they can burn out keeping returning what's wrong, leaves a mark in their brain. I think that's so okay, there are two potential problems with burnout. One is that a player may not buy the game, let's say. This does not matter to me. The other is that I guess the person's opinion of me changes. I'm not even sure this is a concern in general, but when I ask for feedback, usually it's from new players. So I don't think burnout would be a problem. So I'm not concerned from that point of view. What I'm concerned about is that a new player is going to not be able to provide very valuable feedback since it'll be like the top 5 issues I've already identified. I think that's more what I'm concerned with. I'm sure there's something out there. Yeah. Filtering and organizing it, I think that's all fine. I guess what I mean is, let's say at the end of the day, you have 50 issues that people have identified. And let's say that like 90% of players are reporting 5 of those issues. Okay, these are probably the 5 you should tackle, but they still take some amount of time. You know, maybe they take you a total of like 7 days. So that means that for those 7 days, there's almost not a lot of value in even showing new players the game because you're going to get those same 5 issues. So I think it'll be easy enough to identify what should I fix. It'll be easy enough to identify how do we fix them. And then it's just a matter of doing it. And the problem is we're just low on time before the Steam festivals. Why are quests not auto-accepted? They're not auto-accepted because there's no way to turn them off once you've accepted them. So if you see you need 10 small blue potions and that's the only way you're making money right now, this is saying, hey, this is going to cost you 30 gold and a bunch of time before you can earn more money. It's not entirely that way, but yeah, that's why they're not auto-accepted. The other reason why they're not auto-accepted is it's another way of informing the user that there's something that they can do and how the system works. There's also some cutesy text when you accept a quest. So there are a few reasons why they're not auto-accepted. And there shouldn't ever be so many of them that it feels frustrating. But if it is frustrating, even after all this stuff, we could have a town perk that just says like automatically accept the next quest. But I don't think I'd want to do that. It was quite fun and rather polished for such an early version. Well, thank you. I guess it feels okay. So obviously feedback can be any of the three categories, right? Positive, neutral, negative. And mostly people are going to report the negative stuff while I'm here because of course they're running into issues as they play. And it just feels, I am not trying to change any of this behavior. It feels a little overwhelming only because it's like, oh man, I put a ton of time into this. There's some negative feedback. And I again, not trying to change it. I cannot stress enough how much I think this is the most valuable thing that could possibly be happening. The feeling of being overwhelmed, I think, comes from those festivals and feeling like there's a deadline. Every other checkpoint, it's like, okay, cool, we know what to prioritize. Sure, there's a lot of work, but we can take our time. And I just like throw a dart at the calendar and I'm like, cool, January 17th, that sounds like the next deadline. But I could bump that if I want to. I can't bump the Steam festivals. Like February 3rd, regardless, is going to be Eiler Fest. Valve is not going to listen to me and didn't put it off. And February 24th is going to be Next Fest. And this, I've always said, doesn't really matter. If we get 5 wish lists from this, okay, that's fine. But Next Fest, I still have the choice to bail out of this and instead bump it to like June. But for those who don't know, you can only be in one Next Fest for a game's lifetime. And it has to be before launch. These are the 2 restrictions. So Skeleseller, if it's in the one in February, it can never be in another one again. And if Skeleseller launches, it can never be in one again. So this is like the one shot you get if you think Next Fest is going to be important, which by the way, a lot of game developers say it's actually not that important. Some people start with something like 12,000 wish lists and they go up to like 13,000. That's not super significant if you manage to get 12,000 already. It's not bad. And I'm sure if we're at about 500 right now, if we were to just be in Next Fest tomorrow, we'd probably go up to like 600. I don't know. I don't think it'd go up to like 5,000. But I think with enough polish, it could potentially gain a lot of momentum. So every little point of friction is another chance for someone to be like, I don't really think this is worth sharing or it's not worth continuing to play. By the way, Carson, thank you for the resub. I didn't miss it. I wanted to finish my thought. Couldn't beat the ogre, but it's probably a skill issue. What have you tried, TJ? Because the ogre should be a like a 99.99% win ratio as long as you're doing one particular thing. So that's why I want to know, what did you try? Because it's possible you hit the like 1 out of 1,000 case that caused you to lose, which I would just consider that to be almost a bug. But yes, please do let me know because this is incredibly important for me. I only say this because although I and others are giving feedback, it's working quite well. It's fun. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I think that's generally how I feel too. I think it's in a good spot. Oh, I won the first time, then couldn't win. Yes, that is okay. Got you. So you won the first time. That's good. The second time, it says that their level goes to level 2. It actually really goes to like level 4. We need to just stop you from repeating those battles. So let me write this down because this is another thing. Repeating boss battles is confusing because people expect to be able to win, but the rules are changed on them with no notice. And it's actually impossible to win the second time without improving your stats. My feedback will probably be stylistic differences and stuff that can't be reasonably done crunch time. Where did that message go? Should I table that for now? No, you should still share it. Going through feedback is not a super long process. It takes me maybe 2 or 3 hours to go through like 20, 25 responses and file issues and prioritize things. Maybe a little bit more than that. So if you're like, oh, hey, there are some stylistic differences, I can still file that and just not do anything about it yet. So the boss and quest thing, boss 1, no quest, boss 2, 5 open. Player does 1 and beats boss 2. Then boss 3 still has access to previous ones and new opens, so boss 3 gets way easier. Yeah, essentially, here's how this is going to work. At any time, you can have a number of quests you've done and a number of quests that you can do. And then there's a number of quests that we balance for you having done on any particular boss. So to use some concrete numbers here, maybe you've done like two quests and you can do 5, and we balance for having 3 completed for the dragon boss. So you'll probably struggle a little bit more, but it'd be doable. And if you do get to 5, then you'll probably have a very easy time. Then when it comes to the next boss, so now number of quests you've done obviously isn't going to change. Number of quests you can do maybe goes up to like 9, and now we balance for you having done maybe 7 of them. So I suspect these two numbers are always going to be probably like a 10 to 20% gap away from one another. Like you can always do a couple extra quests and maybe it'll give you more power. When am I leaving for vacation? Let me modify that. Ecom vacation Adams. Next vacation is let me put that calendar. Because I know what days I'm gonna be. The world. Why is it so hard to find a calendar that actually works? Here we go. I can't load my personal calendar because it's got all my personal stuff on it. 27th to the 30th at the very least. I might not stream on the 31st though. Adam will be streaming from January 27th, 2025 to January 30th. He may not stream on the 31st either, depending on how the travel goes. He hasn't shared where he's going. Done. Okay. I think what we have is really good. I think the issues being reported won't really affect overall feeling of the game. It's fun. You've done a good job. Well, thanks, Campbell Soup. Yeah, and we do have another week to tackle some of these. So if we prioritize them and we realize that like, okay, these 3 issues are going to drastically change the impression of the game, I think we could get all that done on like Monday. So that shouldn't be too bad. And then we'll have enough time to tackle some of the lower priority ones as well. Flip side, I'm cruising through without further issues. It was a bit unclear in a few places how to progress, but I feel that's in keeping with the kind of game. Part of semi-idle games is to require figuring out the systems. Yeah, and as long as they're not super confusing, like one of the problems that I have with some idle games is when the time spans are super long and you make the wrong decision. So imagine if a phase of a game is supposed to last for like 5 days. And if you make choice A, it'll last for 3 days. And if you make choice B, it'll last for 7 days. It's like, okay, you really shot yourself in the foot here. You got to wait an extra 4 real life days. That's too much. In Skeleseller, obviously there's still differences between the choices, but choice A might make you take like -5 minutes, and choice B might be like +3 minutes or something. And I'm fine with that. I don't think that's a problem. Also, I don't even think these number of minutes are accurate. I think it's probably more on the order of like -2 minutes and +2 minutes or something. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm not. By the way, this is the weird thing about feedback. It's kind of like a pendulum. You address something and then the pendulum swings in the other direction and people start addressing the opposite of the problem you originally had. Originally, people said the game feels on rails. So I was like, you know what? Let's open it up. And we open it up. And now I think some people are saying things like, all right, it's a little bit harder to figure out what's the best way to progress. Excuse me. And it's not to say that they're not right or anything, or that I was right or wrong to put the game, make it more open. It's just, yeah, the feedback will start shifting. And I think we'll get to a good state by the end of this. Yeah, just notice you can stop auto battle while battling. I didn't notice because it occupies the same spot as flee. I would have expected a toggle next to it. Interesting. I will write this down too. Yeah, it was an intentional decision to take up less space, but maybe that's not important. I auto battle for a little while, not even close. Also, my second quest included a cloak and I never got one. Yeah, TJ, when you figured this out, I want to hear what you have to say about it, but I don't want to address this right now. It's not really a spoiler, but I want to just see, what do you do if I don't chime in? Forcing the game to use OpenGL fixes the corrupted button textures. That is massive love. Thank you for reporting that. Important note. What? Windows EXE got turned into a link? Okay, there. Going anywhere fun? Also excited to try the game today. Yes, going somewhere fun. And thank you. I do hope you like the game. Please be careful when posting. I'll not be home information in the public. Bad people do bad things. Um, yeah, by the way, please, people in the future, yeah, every once in a while I'll show something on screen and people will be like, oh, you just leaked something. Just send me a private message if you ever think that I've done something bad on stream. Calling attention to anything you think is bad on stream is not a good thing to do while someone's streaming. So I'm aware of this. I'm not super concerned, but yeah, try to be mindful about how you report that stuff. It's like if you said to a software developer in a convention, like, "Hey, you know you have a security bug," and you shout that out in front of the audience. Just be mindful about that. The small thing and Explorer's Insights dialog. Yes, yes, yes. That is known. We are going to fix that. Can we have a town perk that has a chance to feed the slime despawning items? Yes, I think that's going to happen too. That's already been written down. Anyone worked on battle background graphics deserves a raise. So Dark implemented the tile maps, and then the graphics are all from Super Retro World for those. I don't think we have any background graphics that we've constructed yet. I can confirm that command line argument fixes it for me. Wow, 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 wow. That is awesome. And Nate, thank you for following up on this. So it's a problem with the renderer it's using. I am so glad you found that, Blub. Yeah, that is super helpful. For the record, textures look fine in memory, so it might be something being broken in the render or bad Vulkan drivers. Just gonna keep copy pasting stuff. Okay. Yeah, so if I hang on one sec. Excuse me. Gotta get back to work, but when I get back to the game, I'll just auto battle and buy everything possible. Yeah, just one quick thing. I don't want to distract you for too long, but there is a maximum amount of money you can have at any given time. So auto battling will not work infinitely to get you progress. It'll cap out at your maximum money. I wonder if something like rendered doc could help on what may have gone wrong about the corrupted button. I suspect this is just a Godot issue or a graphics driver issue. Because at least for us, these textures are simple, small, and are like just a basic feature of Godot. And there are points in the game where it's not like there's a ton happening or anything. So yeah, I think this is not our thing to fix unless it's to force using the OpenGL renderer. But these are the kinds of things I just want to make sure they're looking good for enough people. And then we probably won't worry about it too much. We can process feedback. By the way, I wonder if this is now working on itch. Let's take a look. We search for Skeleseller. No, if you search for anything, does this work? Like, let's search for that one, Solitude. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it's probably gonna eventually work. And I changed the setting already, right? Configure. Unlisted in search is unchecked, yeah. Is idle a genre on here? No. Yeah, let's put the game description in now. M0 had suggested that earlier, and I think it's a good idea to put that here. Maybe just this. Skeleseller is a laid-back, idle game set in a vibrant fantasy world. You're a skeleton shopkeep who hires adventurers to collect loot for you after your untimely demise. Send adventurers into battle, sell what they find, and build up your town. This is an early alpha. We'll probably launch in 2025. Yeah, cool. Okay. Save that and mark that off the list. And then check if I gave them a point. a.bot.land/points. I did not. Let's give them a point. Yeah, cool. Probably their Elasticsearch or whatever they use for search needs to sync with the database. Yeah. Yeah, I suspect it's going to get fixed pretty soon. And even if it doesn't, I'll just talk to Leaf about it. Yeah. All right. Well, lots of stuff to fix. So my general plan, close all these editors. Oh, I didn't. Oh, hang on. Wait. Where's the italics thing? I had an italics page open here. Yeah, and that came from here. So we should try out fake italics first. Italic, you not summons. Where? Here it is. Okay, search for this /I to find the problems, and then try fixing it with fake italics. It'd be pretty cool if that worked, because then we could use italics and we don't need to spend the effort making a new font. And I don't know if that's what Monadic Bind was getting at with the why can't you use italics, but if that was, thank you. Oh man, I am such a mixture of things right now, and tired is up there on the list. I feel good, a little bit of pride about doing all this stuff, definitely very tired, a tiny bit overwhelmed, a little bit hopeful still despite all this stuff. But yeah, generally pretty happy. It's the PTO syndrome. Proud, tired, overwhelmed, hopeful, happy. Yeah, the only one I'm concerned about there is the tired part. Everything else I can manage, but I don't know why I've been as tired as I've been lately. And maybe it's just from the amount of work. I was working till like 10 something last night. And some of the things I did too, it's like I went through, I bolded every single number in a skill. So if I just click grant most things and we hover over anything, it's like now it says grants 20%, but 20% is in bold. And it's not like that was hard. I needed to go through every single thing and do this and then write documentation on like, we should do this. And I changed some other things that don't really matter. Yeah, game is coming to life. The other thing that's in the back of my mind for a lot of this stuff is this won't be my final game. I want to make more games. And just the launch process and just the iteration on games in general, it's so much work. And I feel like there's the economics of, is it worth doing? And then there's the sort of marketing from the beginning that you need to think about. I mentioned that I want my next game to be Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. It's sort of a like puzzle / story game / humorous game. I don't know, like puzzle comedy, imagine that. And I just don't know how I'd market this. And I think the game might be fun, but I'm picturing like, what would I make the trailer? What would the screenshots look like? What would the blurbs be? How do I convince people to play this? How polished would it have to be to get people to play it? Or how much success would Skeleseller need for it to sell? So for example, Eric Baron's working on Haunted Chocolatier. He's already made Stardew Valley, so this game is almost certainly going to be much more successful than if any random other person in the world made it. So if Skeleseller is good, this game could be more successful as a result of it. But it just makes me think, is that what's best to pursue? Why do I make games in the first place? Is it to make money, or is it to make a thing I'm passionate about? And I think it's always been mostly to follow the passion and just learn more about marketing as I go. Pretty substantial improvement in every respect, but especially the UI and how things are presented. Yeah, thank you, Ocleus. Yeah, I think it really is the biggest thing to make sure that your game is clear from the get-go. Excuse me. Someone had said earlier that the game starts out a bit slow. I think if it feels very slow, it'd be a problem. But if it starts a little bit slow, it's not too much of a problem. As long as you understand whether the game is fun from the get-go, I think that can be fine. Being gray on gray looks disabled. It would be nice if you give it a different color, like the upgrade button. The upgrade button is green because you can spend money on it, though. I agree what you're saying, though. We could probably... We could change the text in some way. I'll write that down. Thank you very much for trying the game, by the way. I appreciate that. All right, how are you liking using an engine instead of building everything from scratch? Now, after some time has passed since using Godot, it's like the only way to go in my mind. Either, I think you should do one of two things. Either spend time actually caring about your custom engine that you make, or use an off-the-shelf engine. I don't think you can do a custom engine and then just not care about it. I think this leads to you struggling at every point and dealing with all the tech debt. Unless every off-the-shelf thing you did is already fully baked. But in my case, it wasn't. There were some sort of shortcomings with these things. I was using mostly Pixie.js for rendering. Howler, I think it was probably called Howler.js. Howler.js for audio. Intro.js for the tutorial stuff, which I hated. I absolutely hated this software. I just could not stand that. I was using Blockly for the block-based nodes. I was using some like code mirror, I think, for the code input, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And it's like, okay, by the end of this, maybe I would have listed out, what, 8 pieces of technology here. And that's 8 pieces that I need to manage. Godot is one thing, and Godot might be made of those same 8 pieces, but I can at least trust that other people are working on those things. Personal question, feel free to tell me to kick rocks, but how's everything with you and the wife? I know going from game dev to Google back to game dev likely is a worrisome thing in any relationship. I think it's been going pretty well. I was actually a tiny bit worried about this too. Whoops, where'd that go? Oh, right, I'm in VS Code. I was a little bit worried about this too. I think there can be some sort of bitterness about this. I was just mentioning that. Okay, let me do something here really fast. I don't know how many of you have heard of levels.fyi, but let's say you want to go work at whatever, Amazon, and you're going to be this SDE1 L4. They have a pretty good estimate of what your salary, what your stock, what your bonus could be. And for some people, I think these numbers can be surprising. And I don't know what level L4 is. I don't know if it's a college higher level or what. I think it is. So it's like, okay, out of college, you could be making 176,000. You get a promotion, you're making more than 100K more than that. So, okay, let's say you're at this level. $284,000. Let's round down to 284 and let's divide by 365, which is the number of days in the year. So now every day of the year you are making $778, regardless of whether you work. L4 is roughly college higher. Yeah. This is nuts compared to making a game. Right? Like, what do you need to do to make that much money making a game? And it's like, all right, let's say you sell $1 million gross on Steam. They take a 30% cut, so you were left with 700K. You are taxed typically higher because you're working for yourself. But how long did it take you to make that game? Because if it was 2 years, then it's pretty much just better to have worked for Amazon at that point. And if it's longer than 2 years, it was definitely better. And if you can't make another game that also grosses $1 million afterward, then it was better. Like, this is when I comment that the economics are bad about game dev. That is certainly why I'm talking about this stuff. Because yes, before this, I worked for Google, and I made a lot of money, and there's no two ways about that. And I always have that as a comparison point now, because it's not like Google is off the table. It's not like I got fired or I did a bad job or anything. If I wanted to go get hired back, I think it'd be pretty easy. So knowing that that's a choice is always there, and I thought it might engender some bitterness. She's been fine, and I think part of the reason she's been fine is I've told her my 2025 plan, and it's the same plan I just revealed to all of you. I'm going to launch Skeleseller at some point. I'm going to see how it does. If it doesn't do well, I'm going to make the digital organization course, and then maybe start working on a new game. That's a pretty solid plan for this year. And I think whether you hardly know me and you've been watching the stream for like a day or two, or if you've been following for years, I hope that it resonates that I care about this stuff and that I work hard. So I'm trying not to squander this opportunity. Hey, Andrewzel. Just played Skeleseller for an hour, and I must say I really enjoy it. Came across your streams via Kipoga. Really like the overall vibe of the game. I'll try to find some bugs and report them. Only thing I noticed so far is the music plays on random occasions, and skill point squares are the same as squares not clickable. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much for trying it. Thanks for even dropping into the stream. what you said about the music is the only thing that is not a bug. It's the way it works right now is we only have 2 tracks in the game. I need to compose a couple more, but they play every 5 to 10 minutes because I didn't want them to be tedious, because the game right now is like, 60 to maybe 90 minutes for a lot of people. And hearing the same 2-minute long track for 90 minutes, I think would be frustrating. What does the vault do? The vault creates spaces in your storage that only you can access. So if you drag an item here, a worker will never take this from your vault. And that's it. There's no real purpose. There used to be, but there's no real purpose now. Could always contract to supplement and pursue your passion as well later. Yeah. I'm not concerned for 2025, I think. And I hope Skeleseller does well. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I clicked to build the vault from the available buildings, but I can't see a description. Might be good to... Oh, wait. You don't have a description there? Because it should show up. If I do this and then click buildings and then click vault, you don't see the thing in the middle? Stores items that only you can access? Or clicking the sign doesn't show that? Tell the wife we all said thank you. Okay, I will. Oh, by the way, there's something else I wanted to share. And it's Wendy's fan art. It looks amazing. Look at this. What does it not? Oh, I couldn't retweet from this account. How do I find... Yeah. This is amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend following Windy Beard on Twitch or on Twitter or both. I will link to this tweet. Who made that? It was Windy Beard. I think I have a Windy command. Yeah. Hope I can get something in tonight. Thank you, Matt. Yeah. Entirely possible. I just blanked out when clicking it. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Might consider rebranding your Twitter account to promote Skeleseller. We have a Skeleseller Twitter account, and I'm just not logged in as that one right now. Some ways it'd be far easier to do something like game dev for me if I wasn't already doing a thing successfully. Starving artist, a potential windfall is easier to sell than the alternative. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of this plays into my sort of overall life philosophy. And in short, I feel like a lot of context for this is the Google video that I did. But I have an opportunity. So it's an opportunity that's, I'd say, pretty rare, which is just being able to do this, being able to stream, not having to worry about, okay, where's my next paycheck coming from, let's say. So I have this opportunity. Should I take it or should I forego it? And what does it mean to do both? Because there are certainly lots of trade-offs. So if you think about it in terms of like, actually, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it's an opportunity and I'm trying to make the most of it. And like I said, I'm certainly taking it seriously. Like I said, whether or not you like the game, whether or not you like me, I think that hopefully shines through. And I got to make sure I don't overwork too much in the next like month. What does Windy Beard have to do with you telling your wife you said thank you? I think I missed the connection. I think I read something else on the list that sparked me remembering the fan art, and it had nothing to do with what you were talking about, Jedi. But I don't remember what that was at this point. Yeah. Is there an internal time clock where Mrs. Adam Learns Live wants a Google paycheck again? It's something we're talking about on a year-by-year basis. I don't need to make like Google money doing what I'm doing here, but it also can't be zero. And the amount of money that I make through Twitch on its own, I'm not very secretive about this. There's an earnings tab over here. And this is the last month is like $400-ish. That's probably actually higher than average. So I mean, multiply by 12 and you get a very, very low yearly salary. So yeah, Twitch on its own is not enough right now. And I don't have any other monetization methods. Well, very, very minor ones like merch. I make probably like 10 cents per sale. And I don't know, there's some affiliate links floating out there. Yeah. You forgot YouTube? Oh yeah, yeah. YouTube is now a thing. YouTube has made probably in its lifetime of me using it probably about like $300, maybe 200. And it's almost entirely from who cares. Do people still buy the courses? There's only one course for sale, and it's the development efficiency one. And there's probably like a sale every 2 months or something. And I think that works out to like $10 per month or per sale. I mean, too many family requirements on this end to do anything but weekend warrior side projects. Yeah, yeah. And I know how I feel when I'm on the other end of the spectrum, when I'm working a corporate job, and it's like my soul is dying. And I think, like I said, I've already thought about this quite a lot. That very statement of being able to say that my soul is dying, I think, is dripping in privilege, and I recognize that. So yeah, I'm happy for this opportunity, and I want to be able to still do it. I'd like to be able to make new games in the future too. And I'm not trying to put a bunch of guilt on people. Really, honestly, the best way you can help right now is just clicking this button on Steam, add to your wish list, and don't worry about anything else. Don't feel any other guilt. Nothing's dire right now. You could legit probably make good money doing an organization YouTube monetized channel where you do short videos or workflows with clickbaity titles. Yeah, yeah. This is where I was talking about the whole life philosophy thing earlier. I think if I wanted to be a proper tech influencer, I need to change quite a lot about the content that I make. Right now, I am a developer who happens to be streaming, as opposed to a streamer who happens to be developing. I think in order to make money from the influencing side, you've got to start seeking out viewers so that your sponsors will pay more, and then you need to keep feeding that cycle. Will there be another version going up today? Only if there's some like major issue that gets fixed, and I haven't done any work. Excuse me. So the plan is no. Killing your games, I'm passionate about working for AAA corporate. I actually don't know what it's like to work for a game that I would actually play myself. Like, let's say I worked at Blizzard back in the days I was playing World of Warcraft. I probably would have greatly enjoyed that. I don't I don't know what, like, if any game company came by, let's say I just had my pick of the litter and someone's like, "Hey, you could just magically have a job wherever you want at a game company that isn't your own." I don't know that I would take it. And if I did, I think the most likely candidate would be whatever the next Smash game is, which I just assume is in the works, but I don't actually know. Because that has like shaped a lot of my gaming life is the Smash series. Capable people who honestly produce content showcasing their passion. Maybe it's harder in tech. Is my mechanics a channel, or am I misreading the sentence? Because this is originally what I thought with Adam Learns as the content. I was like, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I originally thought, oh, I'll learn all this stuff on stream and I'll just try to do a really good job at it and people watch that. And I realized that some people watch that, but mostly people want to find out what's the value to them. And that's where pivoting to teaching made more sense. So I think just showing off what you're doing has sort of a limit. And then at some point, like I said, you got to play the game, the influencer game. Does it help you to keep more on track when you stream? Yeah, streaming definitely helps. The way I look at it is productivity is slightly lower, but number of hours spent at my computer ostensibly working is higher. So it works out to being more productive overall, I would say. Thanks, Jedi. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was just talking about how I met a couple people from Twitch, not just the stream, but in real life. And one of them was a streamer, Fern, and she said something like, "You're pretty much identical to how you are on stream, except for," I think she said something like, "you're slightly higher energy on stream." Something like that. And that's what I aim for. Try to be authentic. New Smash leaked. Man, I tried avoiding as many of the Switch leaks as I could, not because I didn't want spoilers, but because I didn't believe any of them. But it's hard at some point to stop it because it comes from these weird sources. It's like a YouTuber you might have watched is talking about a Switch leak. It's like, I don't want to watch that. If you lean more into the influencer side of things, do you feel it would have the same effect on your soul as going corporate? So I don't know because I've never tried it. But I think it would play a lot into the authenticity that I talked about. I think in order to be sort of a tech influencer, I think you need to talk about I guess like current events in the tech space and just current tech. And you won't always have an opinion on that tech, and you won't always want to do this, but you kind of have to. And if you don't have an opinion and you share some like, oh yeah, this seemed cool, that's a very different motivation for your audience than, hey, this person is ripping this technology apart, or hey, I trust this person and they're going to have a strong opinion, either positive or negative about this. And I think sometimes you need to manufacture that. And I think that would play into the authenticity, and I think that would play into my soul being crushed, but I don't know for sure. Pretty good developer being a developer. I'll have to take a look at this afterward. Why did the list get so long? What state do I live in? I'm in Washington State, Northwest US. Snake hat mentioned per hour. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be very mindful of that. Three battle windows open, and on a finished one, I clicked on a character to send the party to another location. It won't let me start because I have 3 open. Oh, you are right. I did not test that. Yeah, I definitely got to fix that. Okay. Well, at least there's a workaround, but yeah, that's pretty important. There we go. This was an oversight on my part. I'm going to give you another point for talking about that. Thank you. Organization consistency is outstanding, seemingly unattainable or something like me. I think you could get to this point. I was mentoring Beardage for a while, and he has ADHD, and he mentioned that he developed a bunch of coping mechanisms. And I don't know the exact ones he developed, but a lot of it was, I think, having a schedule and trying to instill some consistency. So I think it is possible to do that. And I always think about this in terms of Memento. If you've ever seen that movie, the guy has anterograde amnesia and has a 15-minute rolling memory, and he tattoos things on his body so that at any given point he can just look down at his arm and be like, this is how I need to live my life. And it's like, yeah, okay, so you've seen it. Anyway, I think if you get in that habit where you trust that your notebook is your source of truth, and you go in here and see like, oh, how did I solve that problem? Oh, it must be in my notebook because I have a tattoo on my arm saying, go look at my notebook. I think that can help with this sort of case. And it'll take a little bit of getting used to and sticking to that, but I like the trust your systems thing. Any rate tips for food or things to do? Going to be there for 3 months for work, likely back there full time a year later. Wow. I think send me a Discord DM and I can give you my list of like restaurants and stuff to check out. The one thing I always say about Seattle that is definitely worth checking out for anyone who visits is Pike Place. It's like a tourist place that locals go to still. And even when I worked in the area, I would still go to Pike Place. It's got a lot to see and do. It's got a lot of people there, and it's a cool experience. So this is like a must go to. And my only must not go to is the Space Needle unless you like wasting money. I just don't think it's worth going to the top of it. Now, this is certainly an opinion thing. I have had some people who've gone and where they're like, yeah, that was cool. I did not think it was cool. I have been like twice in my entire time living here. The first time was as a newbie tourist, basically. And I still don't think it was that impressive or good. Have any of your past coworkers watched your stream before? Yeah. In fact, some are probably here now. I've never shared their identities. Routine. Build your habits, build your routines. Yeah. Maybe trust it. No, it's a little too much. Yeah. What do you do when your notes are not written comprehensively? You work on it. Either improve your notes or improve your note taking, or both. But yeah, or you decide you just don't want to go with notes and maybe there's some other way you try to do this. But yeah, in general, it's one of these two things. Pike Place is like 3 blocks away from our office. Yeah. And like I said, it's a place that locals still go to. So if it's 3 blocks away, you'll probably find yourself walking there and getting lunch or something one of those days. First time I ever developed an intense hatred for selfie sticks. I didn't have that experience. I just thought it was boring. Wait, you're not actually though, right? Because I was gonna say I don't know that I know you, and I don't. I guess I can't think of an experience where that happened before, except for my dad on the stream. Do I have a command about that? Yeah. Read this for a fun story. That's the only time I can think of a case where someone knew me, but I didn't know that they knew me until a very long time had passed. So I'd be surprised. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I'd be surprised if I knew you. Quest showing thumbnail on the battle map, only showing the name is really tough learning curve. Yeah. I think it's worth fixing. Where is that? Yep. Okay. All right, what time is it? It's noon. Yeah, the plan for today was pretty much just sit around, celebrate, take in feedback, and then not stream in the afternoon. I want to like catch up on my life. I've been doing so much Skeleseller development. Did we get any other feedback responses? Checkpoint 5. Why won't this show up in my search? Give me a sec. Yeah, we're at 4 responses. All right, so most people agree or are neutral. That's totally fine. Most people had not played already. Everyone found out about the game through me, and everyone's all over the place. This is like a draw 4 card in Uno. Any plans to change the build X font? Not a fan of the white with black stroke text personally. I think we'll change the font, yeah. But I don't think we'd be changing the white and black part of that. I think it needs to be visible. So weekend, I'm gonna write, yeah, process feedback, that's already there. All right. Yeah. Yeah, Nui, I gotta do something like that. Where is that? Select it before the end of battle. That's here. I got this messed up. All right. Do you know what that means? Free tier, paid tier, then 2 DLC, so everyone is happy? Did I miss a message? Oh, you know what that means. Sorry. I read it as, do you know what that means? For the font thing? What are we talking about? Oh, the survey results. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. God, I want to go eat lunch. All right. Well, look, I think today was a good day. Like I said, it's a mixture of emotions and feelings from all of this, and generally it's positive. And I'll take some time to process this. I'm going to try not to do too much else today. Although I probably still will do some stuff. But yeah, all of next week is going to be just improving the game so that we're ready for the first festival, which is on February 3rd. So again, if you want to help out and you haven't already, wishlist the game on Steam. That is the best thing you can do right now. I'm going to go find somebody to raid. Debating on whether to raid someone old or new. I think we'll go with someone old. And I don't think I've raided Clarkio in a long time, so let's raid Clarkio. Well, he also doesn't stream for as long as he used to, I think. So I'm not sure if he's wrapping up. Limited talking, more coding, wisdom tooth removed. Let's rate him and see what happens. All right, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for celebrating with me. I will be back on Monday. And yeah, we'll prep for the next festival. Oh, okay, yeah. Take care. Say hi to Clarkio for me. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.